my Black brothers and sisters that are neighbors with me in the United States, and my Black brothers and sisters who are um, outside the United States. These are the people I fight for. These are the people I stand for. The idea that Americans don't care about what happens to people outside their borders, I find to be unforgivable. And as someone who benefits 100% from U.S. imperialism, we all do. If you live in this country, if you benefit from U.S. imperialism, it is our duty to wholeheartedly resist the United States empire. We shouldn't be voting for the war criminals. We shouldn't be propping them up. Our only goal is to resist, spread awareness, and fight these politicians and make their life hell. That should be our goal. It is our duty to the Haitian people, to the Middle East, to the global South, that is destroyed by the United States empire, to be the resistance on the ground here. What's popping, people? My friends, my family. We are back again. Let me get the camera right. There we go. There we are. There we go. What's popping, people? What's popping? Welcome to RBN Friday Live. First thing I want to start with, I gotta do a big shout out for you guys. You guys coming out big for the community. RBN to 30K achieved. Let's go, son. Let's go. I remember we said the RBN to 30K goal at the end of last year, so that would be literally last month. We missed, and then I remember when I set that 30K goal, I was like, dude, that's a crazy goal, right? We missed it with only 27 days. Only 27 days we missed the original goal, which I think is incredible. I also think it's great that we got this milestone. And also funny, like, when it happened, too. When it happened, like, we gained, like, hundreds of subs since the Marianne Williamson conversation, because, like, I cannot stress enough, I explained this on the last show, I wasn't looking forward to talking to Marianne and these politicians, because I knew they was going to bullshit me. And so I had a plan for that. And she did bullshit me. I had her exactly where I wanted to. And then you guys saw the frustration at the end. And that's the first time that you guys saw RBN fight publicly. Like, we have these disagreements and ideology. That was just a mishap. CJ and Rome should not. They was going to join after the interview. They joined early, and it really fucked things up. But that is not going to change the fact that I got all the sound bites I wanted out of Marianne Williamson. Marianne proved everything that we said right about her during my interview. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it was Marianne Williamson who asked to come on. Got and had her, and then she eventually smeared me as a sexist. So I was woman-splaining her, right? So I'm gonna show you guys this Twitter thread, because I did Nick at Night, literally the evening before, and I would check that episode out, Nick at Night. I told you guys I did not want to do the interview. I did not want to talk to Marianne Williamson because I knew Marianne Williamson was going to come on here and bullshit and waste our time, just like every single politician. Every single politician. I had multiple progressive candidates reach out to me like, I'm a progressive in Georgia or New York. I hear RBN. I swear you guys are based. They asked me, come on. I'm done. Not doing it. Not interested. Not interested in probably another two-party duopoly. I can take the banner down. There we go. Let me put this one because this is the next big goal. RBN to 50K. So that's the next one. I want to show you guys that RBN to 50K. That's the next one. I guess we can shoot for the end of the year. End of the year, RBN 50K. We see. I think that maybe. I don't want to be too conservative. I think 50K is a good goal. Year ago. But I was saying I didn't want to talk to her. Especially when, like, in our correspondence, she was like, you guys only have 20 minutes 20 minutes is not enough to talk about Ukraine alone. You guys understand? 20 minutes is nothing. I literally can't even have a conversation with her on Ukraine alone on 20 minutes. I can't have a conversation with her on the crimes and why you shouldn't support the Democratic Party in 20 minutes. So not only did I have 20 minutes, I split the time with Sabby as well because I wanted to feature. Sabby wanted to join out, and I obviously obliged, right? So I'm like, all right, I got 10 minutes with a politician who asked to come on because she wants to bullshit our audience. I told you guys, the boutique left is feeling massive amount of heat from RBN. Massive. And it's honestly wild to see. It's honestly wild to see. Because this is her asking to come on. Be glad to come on anytime. Because this person said, you used to like her for her stance for reparations. And I said, we already discussed how I gave her credit on reparations. And I explained this many live streams. I think she was good on a few domestic policies. I like that she stood for reparations. But that's my general stance on Marianne. And I said, but I turned on her after her takes on Afghanistan, Israel, and her support for funding Ukraine. So you would think with her seeing this tweet that she would want to talk about Ukraine. Not at all. So this is her tweet of Marianne Williamson asking to come on. Be glad to come on to discuss anytime. Thanks. So then I'm like, I got a presidential candidate that literally replied to me on Twitter. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring her on. Break my rule, bring a politician on. Then she said we only gonna have a 20-minute conversation. All right. So soon she said that we're gonna have a 20-minute conversation. I'm like, okay, I am about to make this the hardest 10 minutes of your life. I am going to ask you the question that not a single progressive have asked me since the end of the Bernie campaign, and I am not exaggerating. I have been asking this question for almost 2 years now. So, holy shit, almost 3 years now. And I have not heard a good answer. Why should the working class invest in anyone running in the Democratic Party after the undeniable failures of Bernie Sanders and the progressive movement? But we're going to get to the video. I'm going to do a reaction, so I'll show you guys her answers. And after this interview with RBN, ending aside, anyone who pushed Marianne Williamson for 2024 is deeply unserious. Deeply unserious. What Marianne expected was a softball professional managerial class interview. RBN is the first channel that interviewed Marianne Williamson without giving her a softball. You guys understand that? The first channel. When have you ever seen Marianne Williamson ask the questions that we asked her? When have you ever seen anyone press Marianne Williamson on her Zionist two-state solution bullshit? Marianne is used to everyone just being gushed around her. Oh my God, Marianne, thanks for coming on. I'm so glad that you're giving me access, Marianne. RBN don't care about access at all. In fact, you guys ask us to come on. Marianne Williamson literally, she thought we was the Vanguard. she thought that we want to be in the club like the Vanguard. We're not trying to be in the club. We are not access journalists. Vanguard are access journalists. Their only job is to become part of the establishment. They want the boutique left imperialists. They want the NATO left to like them. That's it. I don't give a fuck if Marianne Williamson likes me, which leads to my frustration my frustration at the end was not that they was being mean to Marianne. It is I wanted us to be tactical, and I don't think we had to do that to expose, because literally the 23 minutes that we spoke, she was exposed, and we about to I'm gonna show some clips here before we pass on to to CJ. But we are not access journalists. When a politician come on this show, that's probably the first and last time you're going to see them. That's what I want I saw some people say, "Oh my God, RBN, you never gonna get interviews like this again." Okay, fuck them. The fuck you talking about? Why should I be interested in talking to people where I gotta tiptoe my questions? That makes no sense. That is not what I got into independent citizen journalism to do. There are a lot of people like the Vanguard who get caught up in the sauce. Where they may come in one intention, then all of a sudden they can see the boutique managers, people that they've been watching their entire life. They start complimenting their work. They agree to come on their show. Then all of a sudden they want to be friends with the enemy. They want to be friends with the professional managerial class. We are at RBN. I could not care if Marianne Williamson or any of her friends don't ever come on again. This is not the PMC zone. We are not bound to civility politics. The ending I strongly disagree with because that's not smart. But civility where you come on my show and you expect to bullshit my audience. You expect me to allow you to bullshit your audience. And then when I don't allow you to bullshit your audience, you then smear me as a sexist. Like a classic liberal white woman. Classic liberal white woman. Sees a black man with a position that she don't agree with, she don't like, she being grilled for her left, being exposed on her weakness, supporting me. So she smear us as sexist. This is a age-old tactic where you have white women smear black men as sexist, mansplainers. You're being rude to me. I'm the millionaire Marianne Williamson, but you're rude to me. Fuck out of here. And fuck anyone who supports Marianne. RBN, we're not accepting duopoly supporters. We are the post-duopoly left. You understand? We are post-duopoly. And I'm going to play the video now. I went 12 minutes in. Let's see how many times she answered my questions. Let's see how many times she answered them. So anyway, I think that's a good preface, 10 minutes in. This interview, I'm not going to stop referencing it. Anyway, I'm already ran too much. So let's play the interview. And I got a lot to say. And I'll explain my mindset here. Because I told you guys, I always come in with planning these. I knew I only had 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe at best. Savvy passed to me a little bit early, so I had another time for a follow, which I appreciated. But you guys see my strategies. I'm going to force you to explain what many people on the Bernie Sanders campaign did not explain to me. The fact that why should the working class people invest in this strategy that failed? And it's not like I explained to her that it's like not a debate. It's not like I'm a neutral arbiter. I'm a citizen journalist. I am here for the working class. It is not a debate that Bernie Sanders and AOC committed fraud, and I gave her examples in the interview. I'm spoiling too much. You guys seen it already anyway. When I watched it again, it was unbelievable how bad her answers was. How bad. So let's play it, and let's do a live reaction. This is fun. I can't believe Marianne decided to do this. She asked to come on my show. And she thought that I was going to treat her like kids' glove, like this is the Vanguard or something. Like this is Kyle Kalinske and Seiger. Like this is Breaking Points. Like this is TYT. You thought you were going to come in my channel and push the two-state solution and apologize for Bernie Sanders and give long-winded speeches. One last thing I want to say before I play the video. We had 20 minutes. I told her before the show that me and Sabby have 10 minutes each. So when I asked her a question, look at how long it takes for her to, well, I was about to say answer, but she doesn't. Like I asked her this first question and then she rambles and rambles. And I was like, all right, that's the last time I'm gonna let her do that. And then she passed to me after she rambled without the question answered. 9 minutes passed. And I'm like, okay, she is filibustering. Not gonna let her get away with that again. That's why I start pushing back on her more. So let's watch the video. I'll start from here and I comment as needed. Author, writer, thank you for joining us on the Revolutionary Blackout, Marianne Williamson.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Hi, Sabby. Nice to see you again.
Hey, nice to see you. I know it's been a minute.
It has, but I see you sometimes. And I saw you once, and I heard you say something like, well, I'll try to have her on. I sort of felt like, well, text me right now. I expected to hear from you then.
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you coming on and taking the time. We are extremely critical of efforts in running in the Democratic Party, and that's why.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed.
Yeah, you probably have seen some criticisms that we have had.
Yeah. Of course I have.
On rumors of you running, because I don't think it's official yet. And I want to pose this question to you, and then we can have. I usually have free flow conversation, but I have a few questions. Then Savvy will jump in with some questions. You notice how I said this is a free flow conversation? Notice later in this conversation, when she's really feeling the heat, she abandoned that concept, which I explained before. And she was like, oh my God, why you explain to me? You mansplain the two-state solution. I'm like, I told you this is a conversation. This isn't MSNBC. This is not the Vanguard or any access media. I am not thankful for you for coming on. You asked to come on, so we are having a conversation. And I want you to realize that she deflects from that. She's like, oh my God, why are you interrupting me? Because you're rambling. You are rambling like a dishonest politician. And I am not going to allow you to gaslight and mislead our audience. So I want you to keep that point in mind. Because I literally told her so many times, this is a conversation. And if you're not willing to have the conversation, you are wasting my time. And if the interruption at the end didn't happen, I would have told her that. I had so many things I could have said, which why I was mad. But anyway, let's continue. Questions as well. I worked on the Bernie campaign, quit my job, put a lot of labor hours into the Bernie campaign. I know I had so many conversations, met with people, talked with people who was broke, struggling, who was still donating money to the Bernie campaign. $100 million spent by the working class on the Bernie campaign. And what did we get? We got a guy in a movement who threw away his political revolution, who abandoned his outside game, and what I consider $100 million thrown in the drain. Now, what we got by investing that kind of money is literally PR agents of the Democratic Party. Bernie Sanders is a war pig who's funding war. They're all apologizing for the same things they used to criticize Trump for. So I see that as a massive waste of the working class money to do that again, especially someone running in the Democratic Party and someone I view as being a little bit too soft on Biden Democratic Party. So I'm gonna ask you, why do you think people should invest in your campaign considering what we already wasted?
Well, I think much of what you said is a legitimate argument. I think there are a lot of legitimate points to be made here. One of the times I saw you, Sabby, you were mentioning something that I had said about running as a Democrat and being nostalgic for the Democratic Party of FDR. And you said,
what does this have to do with my question? I'm going to keep asking that every time. Look at this.
On your show, oh, Marianne, that Democratic Party doesn't exist anymore. Well, you're right, actually. And that's why I was hoping you were actually going to write. I almost want to say, well, let me on, because you're right. And I certainly understand someone your age, you haven't even seen that Democratic Party, whereas I at least have some.
Nothing to do with the question I asked. I asked her, why should the working class invest in the Democratic Party that is neoliberal and pro-war?
Some institutional memory. My point to that is, so the corporatist Democrats would say to progressives that we're trying to hijack the party. They hijack the party. Now, your argument seems to be, then don't even give any money or anything to do with the Democratic Party. I can see that argument, but to me, there's...
I can see that argument, but fuck that shit. I got money to make. I can see the argument why the working class shouldn't care about giving their money to millionaires like me, but I'm going to take the money anyway. This is the clown that the vanguards and many of the deeply unserious boutique left people are pushing.
There's another argument which aligns with my view more, which is, first of all, I don't agree that Bernie Sanders made no difference. Medicare for all is now a mainstream issue in a way that it would never have been.
And by the way, my argument was not that Bernie made no difference. I told him it was a waste of time because we spent that money funneling into a movement that became PR agents of the Democratic Party and became war pigs who are funding war. The nuclear clock is at the closest it ever been to doomsday because of the votes of the progressives. She's not acknowledging any of this.
Did he not run? The whole idea of the egregious gap between the functioning of this government and advocacy for the working people of the United States, I don't think would be in the mainstream dialogue the way it is had Bernie Sanders not run for president. And I also think and once again, I'm not saying you should do it, but I do say if all of us say to hell with the Democratic Party and just leave, then you're going to have two. Already we have a corporate duopoly. Already we have a situation. We have one party completely bought and sold by the corporatists. We have another party which tries to have it both ways. But if we all leave, then you've got two major parties doing that. So I simply submit that it is as legitimate, those of us who feel like working within the Democratic Party, as those working out. To me, the break.
No, you guys stop revolutionary energy. So see, now this is the part where Marianne started getting frustrated with me. But bro, I asked her this question at about the 5-minute mark about Bernie Sanders and why we should invest in her campaign. 2 minutes into her answer, not an answer to my question. So I'm like, okay, we got a limited amount of time. I am not going to allow you to bullshit my audience and come out here and give the speech that you want to give. Because Marianne Williamson saw the pressure that RBN was putting on her. So she wanted to show up on our show just to say she made an RBN appearance. I showed up at RBN. I answered her questions. They nodded along. They liked me. She was trying to come here, infiltrate to defang us. Maybe to give us a little elbow here so we can get along, so we stop criticizing her. Because she saw how easy that was to do with the Vanguard and at breaking points and with Bree. So she was like, let's just go on RBN. I'm gonna give some bullshit political filibustered answers that we all heard before, and then I'll be part of the RBN family because I'm assuming they for access made a miscalculation. So I'm trying to get her back online. Let's continue watching. The working class, we only have a finite amount of resources. We're not like the corporations. So neoliberals and the conservatives, they can spend an endless amount of money on this cash. That $100 million is $100 million that's not going.
Yeah, but that was a working person who gave $5 or gave $10, or I would argue that many people I know who are working people who gave $5 or $10 feel that money went towards Bernie being able to put on the stage the ideas that he did. I feel the same way about.
We did not pay their money just to talk and tweet about Medicare for All. We paid their money because we thought they would fight for it. I'm going to explain here. I'm getting ahead of my own answer. I'm arguing with her again. I'm going to let it play. I'm going to let it play a little more.
Am I talking about reparations?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. And Bernie abandoned his outside movement. Like, we had marches for Medicare for All that we couldn't get the people to tweet about. And Medicare for All as a movement within the Democratic Party is dead. And Bernie killed the revolutionary energy needed while people was asking and demanding Medicare for All by now telling people that the Democratic Party and Biden is okay. Biden said he would veto Medicare for All. There's not even a discussion on the public option. So there's no argument to be made that we've gone forward on the healthcare issue. We have gone backwards because now you got progressives, DSA, sheep herding people to the Democratic Party that would never give you Medicare for All. You guys see how easy it was to swat that talking point aside? Oh, Bernie introduced the idea of Medicare for All. No, he did not. The Green Party did. He popularized it. But there always been progressive ideas in this country. What Bernie did is take people who believe in popular progressive ideas and then sheepdog them in a party that will never accomplish it. And if you're going to do that, okay, you're not as radical as me, okay? Let's say you're not as radical as me, right? And you vote for Joe Biden and you care about Medicare for All. You would think that you will at least show up to the March for Medicare for All rally, right? That you will at least force to vote, right? Nope. They abandoned Medicare for All, but Marianne Williamson in the professional managerial class in the year 2023, where we are no closer to get Medicare for All, want us to worship the altar of Bernie Sanders and these sellouts for accomplishing jack shit on healthcare. But apparently, us investing $5, $10 every paycheck is okay as long as they tweet about it and keep the conversation alive. That's clown shit. All the issues we need them to raise awareness on, they are not. Medicare for all is already popular. We need to raise awareness about the risk of World War III and nuclear war. We need to call out Biden and the Democratic Party for being complicit with funding the police state. These are issues we need to raise awareness on, and these are issues that you guys are not touching. In fact, you did everything you can to avoid talking about Ukraine in this episode. Let's continue. Option. So there's no argument to be made that we've gone forward on the healthcare issue. We have gone backwards because now you got progressives, DSA, sheep herding people to the Democratic Party that would never give you Medicare for all.
Well, I think we have gone forward in terms of a mainstream conversation. Listen, I'm not here as Bernie Sanders' PR agent, and you have your views and I have mine.
Yes, you are. You are here as a Bernie Sanders. And if I would have had a chance to respond, I would have, because my question wasn't even about Bernie. Go back to my question that I asked about 3.5 minutes ago. Where I said, why should we donate to your campaign after the failure of Bernie Sanders? So then after that, instead of answering the question, you then you start going this long spiel talking about what Bernie did great. Why we shouldn't be talking bad about Bernie. I didn't ask you to do PR for Bernie. You did it voluntarily because Bernie is a cult. Bernie is a cult the same way that Trump is a cult. It literally does not matter what Bernie does. I literally gave her a cognizant, articulate breakdown on why I consider Bernie Sanders to be a sellout, and then she doesn't even debunk it. She doesn't even try to debunk. Oh, we got different opinions on this because it's a cult. The same way if you were to factually debunk a religion, we got our own opinions. Bernie and his movement is a cult.
And I think that's really what this is all about. None of us have a monopoly on truth. I think all of us have pieces of it. Truth is a cult.
True. See, you might as well just say alternative facts. No one has a monopoly on truth. No, there is facts, there's reality, and then there's your feelings, Marianne. Your feelings, the feelings of the Vanguard, the feelings of TYT, the feelings of these people is they want Bernie to be good. They want Bernie to be a fighter of the establishment. They want there to be a progressive route to the presidency in 2024. It's all about feelings. Facts is that Bernie Sanders voted for an increased military budget. He voted to send weapons to Ukraine and increase the military budget. He did not show up to any outside events for Medicare for All. The fact is Bernie Sanders sold you out. There's not an interpretation of this. Is there an interpretation of Bernie's votes on Ukraine? There's no interpretation of this stuff. Man, I really wish I had an hour of Marianne one-on-one. Can you imagine me and Marianne in a 1 hour conversation?
PR agent, and you have your views and I have mine, and I think that's really what this is all about. None of us have a monopoly on truth. I think all of us have pieces of it. Truth is a kaleidoscope to me. And
I want to get you in on this. I just want to ask a follow-up to that because I want to make sure I asked the original question because I didn't want you to I wasn't trying to put you on the back heel defending Bernie. So now I'll circle back to the question again, wasting time. She knows she has 20 minutes. Now I got to circle back to the question because she didn't answer. You're going to notice there's going to be a theme in this. The question is like, why after that investment, seeing how disappointing these politicians, some of those people you still apologize for, why should we make that?
Wait, before you say some of those you still apologize for, who am I apologizing for?
You just apologize for Bernie. And don't even let me find the tweets of you apologizing for Biden. Why, as a left movement is going to draft a candidate and a candidate that claims she's going to do a dirty break when she praises Biden all the time. She still thinks that Bernie Sanders is a fighter for the working class. So we're going to have a working class advocate who's friends with these politicians? That's exactly what I mean. And you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, Marianne. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me play that part again. I asked the original question because I didn't want you I wasn't trying to put you on the back heel defending Bernie. The question is like, why after that investment, seeing how disappointing these politicians, some of those people you still apologize for, why should we make that?
Wait, before you say some of those you still apologize for, who am I apologizing for?
like Bernie has been a massive disappointment. So what I'm saying, like, even if you don't run, because that's just a rumor, our criticism is running within the Democratic Party and wasting resources and energy that should be spent on third parties and outside mutual aid organizations. So my question is, why should people invest in your campaign after seeing the waste that I would consider a waste, after seeing him support war, being responsible for Raytheon and Boeing making record profits? That's a waste. He did not do what we sent him to do. So why should people invest in that same?
Well, first of all, that's your view. I don't even see Bernie exactly as you do. But if I run,
I don't see Bernie the way that you do, but I'm not going to say anything that backs that point up. It's a cult, guys. And RBN here to bust that bubble.
People should hear what I say. And if they believe what you believe, then they shouldn't vote for me.
Game over. Game over. You guys want to hear it again? You guys want to hear the end of Marianne Williamson's campaign as a serious candidate? The person that's going to wage the next political revolution. You want to hear her response when asked why working class people who are struggling right now, why we should donate to her campaign. It took me 10 minutes to finally get an answer out of her, but this is her answer to us saying that working class people, we should not be doing this. You guys want to hear it?
This is a democracy. This is what a democracy is about. You have your view. I have my view. And I don't think, there's a saying in AA, attraction, not promotion. I'm not going to be trying to manipulate anybody into seeing it the way I see it. I'm going to put out what I believe, and people will do what they want to do. And I think in terms, particularly those of us who are aligned on so many issues.
Put a fork in it. Despite all the craziness at the end, this is the moment that should end any legitimacy for Marianne Williamson. I brought legitimate concerns to her. If you don't like it, vote for someone else. Who does that sound like? Marianne Williamson with the classic Jim Crow Joe, with the classic Joe Biden, with the classic Hillary Clinton. If you do not like what I'm saying right now, do not vote for me. Trust me, Marianne, I will not. And this is why we are critical of you. Marianne Williamson and her audience pretend that she's the victim here. The millionaire white woman is the victim from broke middle-class black people, apparently. She's the victim because we say your strategy is shit. And if you want our support, and if you wanted to stop making these videos of informing the working class of your grift, then you need to explain why it's worth it. And she says, just vote for someone else. Can you guys hear it? This is the person that the Vanguard wants to recruit as the advocate for a third party. This is the person that's going to collect the working class. The second that she get a hard question, she said, oh, never mind, don't vote for me then. The second she get a hard question, don't vote for me. That's the left candidate. You guys see how unserious Marianne Williamson and all of her supporters are unserious. Unserious. And I said it before, this is the official decree. I'll take this off for a second. I'm going a little bit over. CJ, sorry, I know I'm going a little bit over. I said earlier before that anyone who supports Marianne Williamson, especially after this conversation, I want to have you on. You can invite me on your show. I want to do the same thing I did to Marianne and ruin all your credibility. This is the first hard interview she ever had. The Vanguard gave her a softball. TYT gave her a softball. Bree gave her a softball. All these people give her a softball. The first people that didn't worship the altar that she was standing on. The first people that wasn't like, oh my God, it's Marianne. She failed. She folded for the first people that didn't have celebrity worship over her. So let's, CJ, I know you. So
no, go. Hey, I'm listening, man. I'm watching this whole shit right here. But what I want to do is, because I feel if I'm in this conversation, like this shit, like I'm just gonna just saying some crazy. I'm just gonna go off because it's like that energy you got right now. I'm so mad at this progressive Democrat strategy and you're breaking it down. But this is it. This is the death blow, this interview. But keep going. And then I'm gonna come in with sort of like a summation of how we have brought this strategy down. It's been totally destroyed by RBN. Now it's time to move on. So I'll come in with that summation in a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So let's and obviously the interview not long, so I'm gonna get let's continue. Fuck it, let's just continue. Because the next section I got a lot to say too. Because I think the next part, actually I don't remember.
We shouldn't let the fact that we see things differently in this area or that area keep us from working towards a cohesive movement that would be a fundamental economic reform in this country.
She said, don't make the fact that we have real strong strategic and policy disagreements get in the way with us forming coalitions together. You guys see how the professional managerial class who do not have our best interests at heart want us to just throw away all your ideas. Follow the lead of the professional managerial class or you're being unruly. Fuck you talking about? We may not always believe in the same things, but we should coalesce together. Then you can make the same argument for the Republican Party. You can make the same argument for anything, any of these corrupt politicians. Let me go back to her, and then I'm gonna keep it playing. And I'm only gonna just react to my questions, just because I can comment more on that. So.
Differently in this area or that area, keep us from working towards a cohesive movement that would be a fundamental economic reform in this country.
Yeah, thank you.
So Marianne, you mentioned reparations. That's one of the questions.
So I'm glad that Sabby asked about reparations, but for the sake of my breakdown, I'm gonna go to my question, just because it's not my question, and I want her to react. I want to react to the stuff that I asked her. So I'm gonna skip to this
level, just like it does on the president, and the only way to override that is through a massive political revolution at the ballot box. A
massive political revolution at the ballot box. Said the person who supports this two-state solution. Said the person who still believes that Bernie Sanders is great and praised Biden multiple times. Political revolution. We had enough of your grift. You're not tricking us anymore. You guys tricked us because RBN did not exist. We are here. We are your biggest nightmare because we will not allow you to trick working class people with you hijacking our language.
So where you take that to go third party, that makes me say we got to get in there. And I don't think either of us is wrong. I just think we have to do everything, whatever our gut says, our heart, go for it. That's how I
love the energy, and I never dissuade people for taking their shots. And I always say that our focus should be 15% electoral. So I could not have been nicer to Marianne during this conversation, despite how nice. Look, you all see this for her again. Well, I'm being nice to her, and she still smears me as a sexist. Still smears me as a sexist later. You guys want to hear how nice I am to her again?
That says our heart, go for it. That's
how I love the energy, and I never dissuade people for taking their shots. And I always say that our focus should be 15% electoral politics, not that much. That 15% is organizing for stuff like reparations and class wins. I have a theory. I'm not sure if I'm 100% right, like we all say, but I have a theory that, especially with, as you said, Black Caucus, Democratic Party, you got all these neoliberals that are against reparations. There is no way that as a Black community, we are getting what we want politically through the two-party duopoly. We are 13% of the population, and both parties wedged that. They wedged that against us. And we voted for the Democratic Party at a 90% rate every single year. So they don't even run on our issues. Everyone else get their issues except ours. Yeah. The only theory I have of change in terms of electoral politics, which I wouldn't put that much stock in, the only theory of change that makes sense to me is as Black people and our allies, we form third parties, and then we force the politicians to carve that support. So if you lose an election as a Democrat because you lost the Black vote, I guess the next candidate has to run on reparations then, right? So that's why third parties have to be a leveraging tool of our community who gets nothing. Under the Biden administration right now, Black Americans are weak. Our community has been destroyed. The police is stronger than ever. We get nothing. I'm doing this little spill to explain to Marianne because she's very dumb and ditzy. So apparently she doesn't get it. I explained to her the stuff that we are not getting, we need to leverage for. Just basic political knowledge. And I explained to her because she's a white, rich, liberal woman who obviously had no contact with the Black working class. I am telling her the Democratic blue cities, our ruling class has sold us out. And it seems like, and I have to explain this part to her again, because it seems like she don't understand the gravity of the situation. It seems like Marianne and the entire professional managerial class do not understand the gravity of the situation. So I use that strategy to just show her how she honestly being serious, even when her advocacy of reparations. She's like, oh, I'm for reparations, but then she doesn't endorse the Democratic Party where there is zero chance of that happening. I've been telling my ADOS, my reparations brothers and sisters, I'm like, bro, unless you embrace a Marxist approach, you guys are just tweeting reparations for clout. If you're a capitalist for reparations, that's not going to work. We need a Marxist framework to accomplish that because we will never get into electoral politics. So I tried to explain this to Marianne, and I'm like, are you going to say anything to debunk this? And I'm going to get to my question later because I'll explain to her the value of having a leveraging tool. But let's continue. Nothing going through this strategy. So with 50, this is my question. 50% of Americans said they're ready for a third party. So we need that spark. We need something that will start that. So we need people that is willing to run third party to start this spark. So I want to ask you this, like, what is your objection towards doing that, if there is one?
Well, first of all, there was a lot of teeth in the first things that you said. This issue of the Democratic Party being taken for granted, Black America being taken for granted by the Democratic establishment. But I would argue that you would, if Black America wanted to say to the Democratic establishment, don't take us for granted, voting for someone like me would be as effective as voting for someone in a third party, because you're still outside the context.
Girl, you are literally a Zionist. Shut the fuck up. But shut the fuck. I still can't. Huh?
Of the corporatists who are running on the same old.
Also, another benefit of having a third party is having a third party that rejects the crucial policy that will not be changed by the Democratic Party establishment. Zionism is not what you're going to change to the Democratic Party establishment. Policing is not what you're going to change to the two-party establishment option. Like, if you want less warmongering, if you don't want them sending weapons to Taiwan, you got to use a third party to get there. And you don't even agree on a lot of these things. You literally believe in the two-state solution, and you have apologized. I wish I would have got your current answer. I got to go by your old tweets. You haven't tweeted about Ukraine since October. Very serious commander-in-chief aspirant. Marianne Williamson want to be commander-in-chief, never tweet about Ukraine. But she want us to just put our eggs in our basket. Get the fuck out of here.
Bernie Sanders, despite the things that you said, many of which were true, did come within striking.
I believe in Bernie, but go ahead. I'm just saying it was disappointing, man. But sorry, go ahead, Bernie.
I understand, and I understand. I get it. I totally get it, and I agree with that. Bernie Sanders came within striking distance of the presidency. You know, the way I look at it, and once again, I don't think this is really an issue of right or wrong. This is an issue of a lot of ways to look at it, and everybody having to find where they feel their skill set can be most helpful.
No.
Bernie, if I run, and I run as a Democrat, it's going to be very inconvenient.
There's different roles that everyone have in this revolution, but there got to be a cognitive goal. If we are starting a third party movement, and you guys are literally trying to fundraise for a movement that's about taking over the Democratic Party, we have different goals. You can't say, oh, well, we've got different roles in this. No, your role is directly contradictory to what we are trying to accomplish. If you have a different role within that movement of the overall greater strategy of what we're trying to accomplish, that makes sense. But running in the Democratic Party, my thesis, as I explained to you literally before you started talking, it does not work. So you are abandoning our third party movement. You're siphoning resources from the third party movement. You're siphoning political capital that will go to a third party movement for your ego. For your ego. Remember, if they long they treat me right, Which, by the way, let me explain to you guys that bullshit. If they treat me right, as long as you don't treat me badly, she said, if they treat me badly, I'll go third party. So Marianne, they don't have to do it. Like, they're gonna destroy you. They're gonna run you over. You stand no chance of winning because you guys don't now beat the dark money strategy. So they don't even have to do anything to you now. So they're gonna beat you. And then you're gonna be like, well, I guess they beat me fair and square. So hey, let's go support the Democratic Party nominee. That's obvious. That's obvious to anyone who's not a celebrity worship asset journalism simp. That's what Marianne Williamson's gonna do. She's gonna say, "Oh, we tried our best. At least they gave us a fair hearing. I would have ran third party if they pressured me, but they gave me a fair hearing. Unfortunately, I lost to Pete Buttigieg, so we gotta support Pete Buttigieg." Anyone who does not see that coming is a fucking moron. You guys understand? Is a moron. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna let it play for a bit. I know CJ got some stories.
Democratic establishment. They will want to invisibilize me. But if I run as a third-party candidate, it will be so easy to do that. I feel that if I'm in there, I can get in there. I can say, Joe Biden, you got to debate me. I can go in there. I can put these things on the table. So yeah, I think there need to be vital third-party efforts. I don't think that I'm the one to do that. And by the way, to phenomenal mysticism, Marianne Williamson is ultra uncomfortable during this interview. You can feel it. No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you was. Yes, you was.
I just want to jump in really quick and say, why not? Like, I've kind of changed the focus, at least like on my show, to focus more so on local politics, because in reference to the progressive policies and progressive issues, I've seen them pass on the local level. So I'm kind of fortunate. Right. I'm in Massachusetts. We've passed a lot of these things, the $15 minimum wage, the wealth tax. We've already passed a lot of those issues, but I've also seen red states pass those issues as well, Marianne,
like Kansas with the abortion thing recently. That's where ground zero is now. Is on local and state. Absolutely.
Exactly. So looking back at it, I look at people like some of the members of the squad, and I feel that people like Cori Bush, AOC, I feel like they actually would be more effective on the local level. They went into Congress, they went into the swamp, and they're obviously heavily controlled by Democratic leadership. That's one of the issues that Dennis Kucinich had. That's one of the issues that Cynthia McKinney had, is that they called the shots. Why not run for something on the local level, or is that something that you have considered?
If I woke up one morning and I'm going to run for city council, I'd run for city council. I'm interested in changing the conversation in this country. And there is no platform for changing the national conversation like a presidential candidacy. And I am fortunate in that I do have, being an author, having a national audience, I feel that my greatest contribution is to bring up certain topics that are not convenient to the system, to talk about genuine fundamental economic.
My question is if she like, I'm gonna use my public profile to raise awareness on issues, why do you gotta take money from the working class to do so? Like, why do you guys sheep her otherwise revolutionary thoughts into the Democratic Party that is not solving any of the problems that you're talking about?
Economic reform that, as Nick has pointed out, is not now occurring. The larger dynamic of American history, the aberrational chapter of the last 50 years, and the massive theft from the middle class and the poor in this country. I feel the way I can make the most powerful impact to make that case, to say it in a way that matters, if it would be to run, if in fact it feels like I can run. If I can't put together enough of a campaign to give it enough heft, then I won't do it. That's the period I'm in now, is discerning that. But that's what I want to do. I want to help upgrade the national conversation in the direction of justice.
Marianne, I know you only have around 20 minutes or so. I appreciate your time. Any final question that you have, Sabi? Any final thoughts or any last words you have before we send? At this point, I wanted to get her the fuck out of here because I saw 20 minutes in. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I got everything I need. But I am actually big shout out to Sabi. This is my biggest L of the interview. I literally completely forgot about Ukraine at this point. At this point, I was so flabbergasted about how bad her answers have been to this point. So big shout out to Sabi for bringing this in, because this is where things really get fun. Y'all, Sabi, go ahead.
Just one about foreign policy, because this is an area where the president can act alone and doesn't necessarily need the approval of Congress. So I'm curious to hear your feelings and your thoughts about the war between Russia and Ukraine right now. Like, how would you respond if you were president of the United States? And also in reference to Israel and Palestine, how would you respond in those particular situations?
So why don't we do Israel and Palestine? Okay. Israel and Palestine is a very, it's really bad right now. Netanyahu's new government is the most extreme far-right government.
Netanyahu's government in Israel is the most extreme far-right government, but we're going to support the two-state solution, which is the status quo in Palestine. I want you to explain how that makes sense, Marianne. Israel, operating under the two-state solution, has become more fascist and more extreme. So why will you support a two-state solution, seeing how unhinged the Zionists in Israel are? You need one state where everyone has equal rights under the law, period. There is no Palestinian organization I've ever seen call for anything else. We had the Palestinian Community Network on during the Anti-Imperialist Summit, and they explained that's a non-starter being supportive of the two-state solution. But I'll let her continue her world salad.
That's ever been in the history of that country. As bad as it has always been, really, for the Palestinians. Now everything's worse. It's a real anti-democratic authoritarian direction. And it absolutely must be confronted. Clearly, the occupation is a prolonged occupation like this.
They must be confronted, but no, not BDS though. Not BDS though, which Marianne spoke out against. Not literally the most nonviolent form of protest. Not by dismantling the Lepik Party in Israel, which is far-right, deranged lunatics. She just says flower bullshit words that mean nothing in the context of this struggle for the Palestinians.
Is against international law. Clearly, the settlements are against international law. Clearly, international law says that if you do occupy territory, then you must use the resources of that territory for the benefit of the people. Biden seems to have kind of taken a hands-off approach at this point, and the American president must stand up more forcefully. The United States, to me, the moral mission statement of the United States is the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equal. Obviously, the whole idea is to expand that franchise. It doesn't just mean white people, it also means black people. It doesn't just mean men, it also means women. It doesn't just mean straight, it also means LGBTQ. And I think we need to recognize that doesn't just mean Americans. So to me, the United States foreign policy, as well as our domestic policy, when it comes to Israel and Palestine, we should have equally robust support for both the security and the...
Equal support. This is the shit I was trying to tell Bree about. What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, Marianne? We have one country that is sending billions of dollars to raging genocidal fascists. The other side is literally fighting for survival, and you saying that we must give both support? What the fuck are you talking about? Why is the entirety of the left allowing this racist to get away with this? This is just nonchalantly supporting the slaughter of the Palestinian people, saying that we should support their oppressors. Can you imagine how fucking ridiculous? It would be like, oh, we got to support the Nazis too and the Jews. We got to support the Nazis and the Jews. Get the fuck out of here. And you would never say in a million years that we should support Zelensky and Putin. You guys would never say that. You guys want to hear it again? I literally didn't. I don't know if I was fuming at this point. I literally didn't hear her say that, to be honest. Let's see if I can go back. I want to hear it again.
So to me, the United States foreign policy, as well as our domestic policy, when it comes to Israel and Palestine, we should have equally robust support for both the security and the human rights of both people. The only way to do that at this point is through a two-state solution. Now, I understand that some people would say that a two-state solution is dead. Then we need to resurrect it.
How? They just say shit that makes no sense. The two-state solution has been implemented, and it cannot be done because Israel is ran by extreme fascists that are funded by the United States government. There's no incentive for them to give that up. And in fact, actually, I'll be careful there because I don't have the old tweets anymore. If you're saying stuff like Israel had the right to protect themselves, the Iron Dome and stuff, you're not staying with the Palestinian people. Almost done. And we almost get, I'm going to explain to her very soon why the two-state solution is garbage. You cannot have, like, the Palestinians is an apartheid state. Amnesty International and countless human rights organizations found that. So we see that they are a genocidal apartheid state. And your answer is we still got to support the state that is waging violence against Palestinians? How does that make sense?
Because the only answer to that is a situation that is, everything else is untenable. So the American president should stand up. I think this is one area, to be honest, where I think Obama did make an effort. And he's unpopular with a lot of people there for that reason.
Everyone who pushed Marianne Williamson, you are a clown. You are a clown if you push Marianne Williamson. A deeply unserious clown.
Reason, to be honest. But I think he did make an effort to bring the Palestinian issue onto the table in a way that it had not been before within the major political dialogue in America.
She can't help herself. She must praise the Dem. She must. I literally just told her at 10 minutes in, I was like, bro, you tend to apologize for the people that are our enemies. And she's like, what are you talking about? With me? Me apologize for politicians? Never. She just did it again. Praise Barack Obama for zero reason. Zero reason to praise Barack Obama over this. Unless you want to be in the club.
America. And I would certainly seek to do that. I also think, if I might say, because...
And look, she got mad at me because I interrupted her at this point. But, Marianne, we are over time, and you are ranting and literally filling space with platitudes, knowing that your ass got to talk about Ukraine. What did I tell you guys? 20 minutes alone isn't enough for Ukraine. So you go on this long spiel that lasts about 3 minutes now on Israel-Palestine. And I'm like, and also why she's wrong, she's saying all this bullshit about Israel-Palestine, and then she's hoping that we forget by going this long rant. So I'm like, all right, we gotta stop here. This is getting ridiculous. Because just like earlier before, you are literally coming out here to filibuster and bullshit our audience, which I am not going to allow happen. You say you support the two-state solution, and you think I'm not going to address that? So she get mad at me, I'm sure, here for interrupting her, for mansplaining her. You see, white liberal women, whenever poor black anti-imperialists lecture about their trash, Zionist, fascist take, that is us being sexist. So let me play. I'll play to that part.
Jewish woman, I think that I would have actually some moral authority in doing that. My support for Israel should not be at the expense of my Jewish values. And as an American, my support for Israel should not be at the expense of my democratic values. Right now, it's becoming that way, and that's a problem.
Marianne, I appreciate for the answer, but I talked to the Palestinian Community Network, got a lot of Palestinian allies. They will not find that to be an acceptable answer. It's one
well,
state.
I know.
I don't know. Have one state where everyone have equal rights under the law. The Israel Zionists are not to be trusted to implement a two-state solution, as that's been shown many and many times. So I hope you have conversations with some of the Palestinians. That's a hard.
Well, wait a minute. Wait. No. Let me speak.
Remember when Marianne Williamson claimed she got mad at me for interrupting her, and then she just blatantly interrupts me right here on my show? Do I go on, like, I don't go on other people's show and just interrupt them? Jimmy, when I go on Jimmy Dore, it's like implied that I should chime in, but I still I try not to interrupt Jimmy, right? She come on my show, interrupt me while I'm educating her on the two-state solution because she is a ditz. She had no intellectual prowess at all, so I have to explain to her in the very basic terms. And you can do a whole live stream over this. But I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sum up in very basic knowledge why the two-state solution is unacceptable as a leftist. And I gave a name. I gave the Palestinian Community Network, a active Palestinian group that we had on during the anti-imperialist summit, who said the two-state solution is unacceptable. Every Palestinian activist I have ever talked to is not supportive of the two-state solution. But Marianne is about to gaslight us right now and claim, oh, I talked to Palestinians too. They're for their own oppression. If you really believe that Marianne Williamson is out here talking to ordinary Palestinians, they say, yeah, actually, your position about the two-state solution is legit. You are out of your fucking mind. You are not tricking anybody. Marianne is here to trick dum-dums into believing that Palestinians are supportive of their oppression. I talked to these people. I had interviews on this show where I remember I asked them about the two-state solution and BDS, and they looked at me like I was even crazy for asking the question. What do you mean, two-state solution? Obviously, we should have equal rights under the law. But because she is dumb and because she's a grifter who just want to raise money from you to fund her vanity project, she's going to interrupt me, and then she's going to smear me as a sexist for showing her up on foreign policy. The person who's trying to be commander-in-chief who got shitty foreign policy. Someone explain to me how that makes sense. Also, what you can respond to that as well, but because I know you got limited time, because also
okay, I would like a chance to respond.
Yeah, go ahead. And obviously, I'm going to give you that.
Yeah, what I would say to you is when you say you have a lot of Palestinian friends, how many Palestinian friends you have? I have a lot of Palestinian friends,
and none of them support the two-state solution. If they are the Jim Clyburn of the Palestinian community. How dare you come on our channel and try and gaslight our people into thinking the Palestinians support Israel's right to domination over them? That is clown shit. And this is everything in this interview been disqualifying, but this is another gigantic disqualifying thing, except for white leftists. Vanguard, Crystal, Cow, all the white leftists, they don't give a fuck about Palestinians, whatever. Remember, the Vanguard, they love John Fetterman too. John Fetterman, who was literally saying that he's going to double down Israel support. The white Vanguard, the white leftists like Sam Cedar and TYT, they don't give a fuck about anyone else except them. They will quickly abandon black people, Palestinians, anybody, if it means they can get access to these fucking Zionist imperialists.
You say you've talked to Palestinians. I have talked to Palestinians. So I don't think we have a contest here of you're telling me you know Palestinians and I don't. So that doesn't work for me.
That's a fair point, but I'm telling you.
So the point is, right now,
on the Palestinian.
See, if you're not going to let me talk, honey, there's no point in this. If you're not,
you didn't let me talk earlier, and I said in the show that this is a conversation. If you don't like my phrasing the question, we're going to talk about it. So I'm here talking about it, and I was being nice. I'm like, okay, if you think what I'm saying right here. I was about to say until she interrupted. I was about to say, hey, okay, if you want to say that I can't pull the Palestinian friend card, okay. I was about to say, good luck running on that as a leftist when there is a movement that is about not supporting the two-state solution. You're not going to get Palestinian leftists. You're not going to get young people on your side supporting and apologizing for the apartheid state of Israel.
Let me talk. If you're not going to let me talk the things you say, then there really is no point.
We are having a conversation.
No, we're not. No, we're not. You're doing.
We are having a conversation. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, we are. I literally said this is a conversation and being in the stream. And there was nothing that was stopping you from interrupting me. I'm making my point. But she interrupted me because she know I'm making a dominant point over her. And also, it gave her a way out. It gave her a way out of us discussing Ukraine. And then she allowed our production mistake, where everyone should have waited to end the live stream. She used that as an excuse to get out of it because she knows Ukraine is coming up. So this is another giant disqualifier for Marianne Williamson. You're running to be commander-in-chief, and you're not excited to talk about Ukraine? You're not interested in talking about Ukraine. You're running as commander-in-chief, and the Ukraine war may lead to World War III, the biggest geopolitical story in the last few years, leading to a global food crisis, literally gas prices going up, but you have no interest in talking about Ukraine. And you're going to challenge Joe Biden when that is Joe Biden's biggest sin. You are deeply unserious. If you're running for the executive branch and this is not your number one issue, I get it. If you're a congressperson, you don't want to talk about Ukraine that much. I still think you should. But if you're running for president, you should be chomping at the bit to talk about why you got counters to that. She's like, nah, I'm going to use the fact that you guys had a production mistake as a way to get out here. So I went super long. I told you 30 minutes, but there's so much to say. But now I want to get your thoughts, and I'm gonna bounce out here pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that this interview is really the nail in the coffin. I think you said that on Twitter or something like that. This is really the nail in the coffin. Like RBN has been relentlessly sort of attacking this idea of running within the Democratic Party. We've called it like the progressive Democrat, the Justice Democrat strategy or something like that. And I think we've attacked it in a different way than other channels, Nick. We've attacked it with logic, political strategy logic. I just made that up.
Yep.
But just simple logic and just simple pointing out the holes in the strategy, in their own logic, and pointing out how it's a pattern, how they do this hand-wringing, not for non-establishments, and then they just have a trap door at the end for them to go right back to the Democratic Party. Just relentlessly attacking that. And this interview, being able to have, just think, who can we get higher than this? This is a person that will be the future presidential candidate that the progressives wants to run.
See, I want you to finish your point, but I want to
go ahead. Go ahead. Do you?
We didn't seek access to Marianne.
Right.
Like, she responded to my tweet.
We didn't seek access to Ryan Grimm either.
Yeah, Ryan Grimm and Marianne Williamson asked to come on RBN because they see us putting pressure and exposing their bullshit. And we came out here and our criticism was weak of Marianne, and we wasn't changing the minds of people. Would they volunteer to go on our show? No. Ryan Grimm, Marianne Williamson saw all of our criticism of them, and then they asked to come on our show. And then
I think also, though, they saw our criticism. Other people are like, yeah, RBN has a point. Why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Like, so it was other people now saying, and you can see it in some tweets, people using the word, you are completely unserious. Every time I see that, I'm like, that's Nick.
Yeah. I should have panned that shit, man. I see everyone saying that shit. I'm gonna show you guys this again. This is I don't know if you saw this part, but this is the tweet of Marianne Williamson asking to come on. And I said, and I discussed how I'll give her credit for reparations, but turned on her after her takes on Afghanistan, Israel. Now you guys see why. And her support for funding Ukraine. So she responds to this tweet and then avoids doing everything she can to talk about Ukraine. So look, this is her. I am not responding to her. I'm responding to one of her steps here.
And you missed another time she skipped over Ukraine. Because if you remember, the Sabrina asked her too. But she said, oh, let me take this first part first. And she never went to the second part. You have to rewind it back and catch it. She asked her as a two-part question. And then she said, oh, let me take the first. She does the other thing, which is not Ukraine. Yeah. But she still gave a terrible answer. I think she gave the answer on Israel. But like I was saying, Nick, it was just we've done all this content, logic, just laced throughout. Receipts laced throughout, right? Like, and then we bring on scholars. So they say, oh, those are just workers. Those are just silly Negroes over there, So in our summits, we bring on scholars that they like, that they have laced throughout their shows.
Yep.
Like why we brought on Professor Catherine Liu. Laced throughout their shows, like the professional managerial craft. Those people are crazy. She said it, and she's in it. She's like, I'm a class traitor, though, she said. So, but we've proven it with their own experts. Michael Brooks in an interview with Vivek talking about the left is overwhelmingly middle class and don't have any concerns. They don't want to hear about poor stuff. Go ahead, Nick.
And then after doing stream after stream, talking about how the professional managerial class is made up of a bunch of wealthy white liberals who disconnected from the working class, you want to know what they do? To prove us right almost immediately, they support Marianne Williamson, the wealthy professional managerial class who's not connected to the issues. So we did all these streams. We did stream calling out Marianne and anyone of the boutique left who's unserious with this unserious form of change. And then they anoint Marianne in a very anti-democratic way, I should say. Like, DNC level shit.
Yeah.
We were like, I'm gonna pick my friend, Marianne, my friend. Marianne gave me that interview one time. Should Marianne be president? Yeah, Marianne should be president. So you had all these boutique media outlets that was manufacturing consent for this Zionist. You had all these people
for money, Nick. For money. Imagine.
For money and
imagine you have a person running in the primary. That's why they just want to have her run. They don't care. They know she's not going to win and do nothing. They just want her to run because now she's on stage. And guess what? She's coming on our show.
Get that Marianne exclusive.
That's what this is all about. It's the left media. And I should say, add white to this. White left media industrial complex is what this is about. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I like to call it that's a good name too. I like to call it the Bernie Sanders industrial complex. and they don't understand. RBN is 100% post Bernie. We got 600 people watching right now, and we grew our audience 30,000 subscribers, not on the backs of the Bernie campaign. Every single professional managerial class, every single left media sphere that you guys are watching for the most part, unless you guys, big shout out to the people who watch smaller independent channels, right? But the big channels that all you guys are watching, they grew and they got their clout from riding the coattails of the Bernie campaign. So they cannot drop that grift. They cannot. They want to do it again. They want to have Marianne as the new candidate. Maybe they might even get a job. They're trying to make hundreds of $1,000s on the Bernie campaign. $10,000. Like Stabby showed the paychecks, like 2,000 a month. This dude getting thousands of dollars. You guys wonder why they want to do another run? Meanwhile, RBN, who is post duopoly left. We are the post duopoly left. We grew our audience with that criticism of the progressive movement and doing it with intellectual discipline that comes through theory and critical thinking skills that the professional managerial class have been purposely trying to rob of people. They want people to run on vibes. Wouldn't it be good to have me on the debate stage and talk about issues that we've been talking about for the last 8 years? It'll feel good, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be great content for you too. Like, we don't got time for this shit, man.
And the thing is, Nick, what's so funny? We have like a few streams on Marianne before they were starting to do this, and we were wondering like, why are there so much? They seem like they had criticism with their chest about Marianne when we criticized her. Now we know because there was conversations in the back about running here. Even Kyle Kalinske asked her on the Kyle and Crystal show or Crystal, I don't know which name comes first, but on their show when he was, we want you to run. That was 8 months ago, 7 or 8 months ago, and I did that stream a few days ago. But we're the post duopoly left, and I just think the progressive Democratic strategy it's been debunked. It's been debunked. That's over. Like it's over. You're not serious. Like if you're political and then you come to me and you're like, so let me tell you how we're going to take over the Democratic Party. You might as well say, I'm a clown. Just say, I'm a clown, and then so I can move about my business. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Now, and my last thoughts, I know you got a few stories you want to go over before I dip here. If you're one of those duopoly leftists, we're the post-duopoly left. You want the people that like still believe in the duopoly and it works for you. You believe the duopoly got a back door that you can sneak through. And the ruling class is going to surrender their power with no struggle. If that is your belief, and you believe that Marianne Williamson will allow the ruling class to give up their power, have me on your show. I dare you. I dare Vanguard, anybody that pushing her, to have me on their show. Explain to me their strategy. And I'm relying on you guys. They know we exist, but then when they do the shows, they got to do like this. Well, you know how someone look at you, but they're not trying to look at you? Like they try to pretend we don't know that they know we don't exist. Because they don't want to have the conversation with us. So if you guys see their show and you see them disagreeing with us, say, hey, have them on. Have RBN on. I promise you.
Nick, I guarantee you, if you or Sabby went on their show and debated them about this strategy, their audience will be siding with y'all. I guarantee, because their audience is siding with us when we're not even there.
Yeah.
You can see it in the super chats. You can see it in the super chats, and you can see it in the comments. Well, this, well, that, and it's penetrating in their shows, and we're not even there. Imagine if Sabby's there, you and Sabby is debating. Oh, let's talk about this Marianne Williamson thing. Let's talk about this, or even me. I mean, I'll go on. Me and you could go on there. It could be It could be the Gavin and Zach versus Nick and CJ show or episode, and we could talk about it.
Their support for John Thurman too, the Zionist, the guy who for funding Ukraine. Incremental, like the age of incrementalism on the left is over, and that not even just go to the Vanguard. It go to anyone who want to argue to me that this strategy worked. And I saw someone, I think I started, who left this comment. I'm glad you started a lot of these chats. And this is the point I made earlier. No one would have asked that first question Nick asked. It's a great first question. No, she didn't. Like her answer. Well, I guess I should say she did answer it. She said, if you don't believe, her answer to my question of why the working class should invest in her campaign after the Wait for the Break campaign, after 4 minutes of filibustering, I finally got her an answer when she said, well, if you just don't believe in that, don't vote for me. That's her aspiring message, CJ. That's the aspiring message that Bad Faith, that TYT, that the Vanguard, that everyone will get behind. When asked by voters, she gonna on things that she don't agree with, she like, oh, don't vote for me then. They're gonna put a vote. That's who they want to lead the third party charge. The person that say don't vote for me. Don't vote for me then. That's who you guys want to lead the working class.
Let me tell you, Nick, how propaganda, this is about propaganda. Now, you understand when a politician uses this word, believe?
Yeah.
Believe. What she's saying, if you haven't drank the Kool-Aid, if you haven't fallen for the propaganda, then I don't have any interest in you, just like politicians don't have any interest in the 100 million people that don't vote. You notice how they act like there's a shortage of people to vote, Nick.
Yeah.
There's 100 million people pre this last few elections. 100 million people don't vote. But that they don't never even attempt, because it's not about policy. It's about tricking people. And this is why you notice in the media, they say, what are the Democrats going to do about their policy to get more people? They never say that, Nick. They go, what about the messaging? They're talking about propaganda, Nick. So what Democrats have to do to change their messaging? They're talking in front of us. They're talking about propaganda. Well, maybe they need to do this. Maybe they need to spin this. They're literally talking. They just got different words they're using instead of the word propaganda. They've gotten clever over the years. Go ahead, Nick.
The last thing I'm saying, I'll pass you. This really is my last thought. Just because I see A1 chat, I'm gonna respond to the chat here. Cause I know you guys want to respond.
Yeah, we can get to the chat. Yeah, then I can
this
go.
This is the only thing I'm gonna say on this, because we got a lot more things that we want to focus on. The Vanguard, they desperate because their channel is dead. So they were saying their argument is that our debate with Marianne Williamson was a disaster. We gained about 500 subs. No, I want you guys to understand. And I want you guys to send this message to the Vanguard, because I know they won't want to have a conversation. So after we had a conversation with Marianne Williamson, we passed 30K. We gained 500 subs, and we exposed the fact that you guys lied about her ever intending to go third party. So your lie was exposed by my interview. It was my interview exposed the fact that you guys are supporting a two-state solution Zionist in the year 2023. Her interview exposed how intellectually shallow you guys are, because you guys are supporting this embarrassment. And not only that, so let's look at the scorecard. So you guys had Aaron Mate on. Aaron Mate, after that interview, your reputation was shattered so much you lost like 1,000 subs. You lost like 1,000 subs after the Aaron Mate interview, and you guys have never been the same. Your channel literally have not gone up 1 inch since the Aaron Mate interview. And then
you know when they get their best views.
One second. Sorry, CJ. You guys had Lee Kemp on. Lee Kemp embarrassed you as well. You had two embarrassing interviews that derailed your channel, and you guys haven't grown a sub since then. But you guys trying to think we're embarrassed over an interview that got us more subs than in one interview than you guys had in a year. In 1 year, we got more subs in our embarrassing interview than what you guys can accomplish in a year. Hope you guys understand. That's the only thing I'm going to say about this. But go ahead, CJ.
Let me just say. So what the Vanguard is trying to say, and anybody with this logic, it's not just the Vanguard. It's some Vanguard people. So what anybody with this logic is trying to tell you that this is. Let me give you an analogy. You scratch off a ticket, or you win the lottery, and you got the ticket, and you start jumping, and the pie is thrown in your face. They go, look at that, the pie. That's what they're trying to tell you. The lottery ticket was already won. Whatever happened at the end, like you've already went through the footage of the lottery ticket being, you got so many times, you got Marianne Williamson and this broken strategy and not ability to answer any questions and avoiding questions. So that was the lottery ticket. And then their logic is that because there's a food fight at the end that the lottery ticket has no value.
Oh, we have a production error, and then we fight on camera. So I guess you guys, your only victory is stability politics. I guess that's it. Oh my God, they having fights among each other.
That's really it.
That's the only win you guys got.
Really it.
The Vanguard built their channel because they got Noam Chomsky on during Forced to Vote, and they went super viral because they asked Noam Chomsky about Forced to Vote, and then Jimmy covered it, and then Jimmy went on their show, and that blew their channel up by literally 10,000-15,000 subs, and they was made overnight, CJ, because they had their channel at Forced to Vote, right? Made overnight because of Forced to Vote. How do you go from that to losing subs and you haven't gained any support? How many times have you guys seen the Vanguard on the Hill? How many times did y'all see the Vanguard on RT? I've been on the Hill. Why you guys think the Vanguard don't invite these people on? Because everyone sees them as UNSERIOUS. Literally everybody.
Yeah.
Literally no one would invite the Vanguard on the show. I've been on Lee Camp show. They had Lee Camp on. Lee Camp like, nigga, I ain't about to pay y'all.
You was on Moots,
and then they never even invite them on the show because everyone knows the Vanguard is embarrassing trash. Now they're so embarrassing in our tweet, and they got ratioed trying to talk shit about us.
I saw that. They got ratio like 5 times. By
me, by Aaron, literally everyone. They said this is the most embarrassing thing I ever seen in my life. Said the channel who they were literally destroyed after their interview with Aaron Mate. They literally never recovered to the point where they turned their comments off. CJ, did we turn our comments off? After the Marianne Williamson?
We're like 1,500 comments from the yesterday's stream, like 1,500 or something.
Not only did we not turn our comments off, a lot of it was overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Nigga, y'all were getting destroyed on your own. I remember it. I was seeing it live. Y'all was getting dismantled.
I never knew this.
Literally ruined y'all channel. Like y'all been still at 26,000 subs forever. But tell me more about how we're embarrassing. How we're embarrassed. Aaron Mate even clapped back and said, more embarrassing than you turning off the comments in your interview. You say this is the most embarrassing thing you ever seen. Apparently, you guys was embarrassed by this. And they're not playing the interview clip because they know they played the clip of our interview. It will show they lied about Marianne Williamson and her third-party support. Where in our interview, she directly said it's not a good strategy to go third party. So they're not going to play the interview. They're going to play the fight and the technical difficulty and then pretend that's a got you.
That's fine.
Look at this, CJ. Last thing. Look at the dislike bar before they took the dislike bar down. Nigga, they got like 75% dislikes. Nigga, look at the dislike on our. We got 1,000+ likes on our video. So I would love for the Vanguard to invite me on. It would be hilarious, and I will show their audience these receipts that they are hiding. They
would never. Yeah, they're not serious. So we're just understand, people. This is all you're gonna get. We're not gonna do another stream and staying on them. This is it because this is live and they're live doing their thing, and we're live doing our thing. That's why we're responding to this because we saw Nick. This is what's funny. I think they are using how the white leftist like Majority Report uses uses Jimmy Dore for clicks. That's literally when they get their most views is when they use Jimmy Dore, and the same thing. And Vanguard does the same thing, but now they understand if they put RBN in it.
Yeah, because
if you go look at it's their highest like videos in a while.
Yeah.
So now they understand. Oh, put RBN in your face. Your face appears like on 3 of their thumbnails yesterday, and now I guess they're gonna have one today.
They love my face. They know people want to hear me speak. So I could do a live stream. I did Nick at Night. Nick at Night, literally a 1-hour foreign policy live stream. Still have 400+ viewers live. The Vanguard, the only way they can get views is they talk about other people. I have people tune in to hear what I have to say. No one watches the Vanguard to hear what they have to say about an issue. They watch the Vanguard so they can see drama. No one,
like I said, they're talk soup. They're talk soup. They're like Wendy Williams of the left. Like I said, they're the Wendy Williams of the left. If you want to go get the tea on or spiel on something, you go there. They support, all the things that white leftists believe makes them left, like just $15 minimum wage, unions, all the normal things, get corruption out, nothing structurally, nothing to the institutions, nothing like that, nothing like that, just, these basic things. I'm a leftist, like, we have to get out of our head that makes you a leftist. So that is actually centrist stuff in other countries.
Yeah, so you guys, this is probably the last time I want to address it because it fits in the topic of the video and the reaction. But this is my message to the Vanguard, and you just said it. We're not doing more of these videos talking about you guys. If you guys make a video about us without inviting us on, I want you guys to call them out for it. I want you guys to go in their comments and be like, why are you making videos about RBN without inviting them on? You're a coward. Blow them up every single time they do that, and they will expose themselves by being afraid to talk to us. They was afraid to talk to Jackson Hinkle. Jackson Hinkle was begging to debate them, and they are so intellectually weak. They were afraid to debate Jackson Hinkle, which we did 2 times in a row. He's like, and then he asked to come on. He's like, all right, come on, Jackson, any day, Jackson, if you want to come on and debate us about MAG communism when we were drinking MAG communism. Meanwhile, they are running for the hills against Jackson. They are afraid of Jackson Hinkle. Man, you're afraid to debate Jackson Hinkle, which they're not this. But why are you afraid to debate the guy that apparently a clown? Because they're not confident in their abilities. They know they only get views if they put certain people that are popular. Meanwhile, I can get views just by doing a foreign policy stream. That's all I need. I put China, put Russia, put anything in the title. 400 plus people watch me because they want to hear my opinions. The Vanguard will never have that. Anyway, I need to super chat.
Let me just say this before you put the super chat up. So we're you and I. Let's say Shama Sawant is running. Let's say she's an American citizen born. And she's running for president. She does an interview with an independent network, and then at the end, the same thing happens. Are you and I going to analyze the fight at the end or the disruption at the end? Or are you and I going to analyze the interview of the candidate that we want to run, like in a Shama Sawant? Because they want Marianne Williamson to run, but you're not analyzing the interview of the candidate that you want to run, the political stuff, so you can point out how good she is to your audience. That's what you're not going to do. Why don't you show your audience the person you want to run? Show your audience her answers. Say, look how good Marianne Williamson is. Look at that answer she gave that I agree with about being a Zionist. Why don't you do that to your audience?
I appreciate it. I already went long anyway, so I'm gonna just stay for super chats and I'll pass to you.
Yes, sir. No, the super chats are for you. The super chats, like, they're talking to you, so about the stuff you said. So
yeah, so I'm gonna go do super chats.
Yeah, it's a lot. I'll go make sure all of them are here though.
Yeah, I'm glad he started off them. Holy shit! I was not.
It was a lot. Yeah, I don't think I got all of them. Let me go back.
Yeah, so much love to everyone for the support and solidarity on RBN. Thank you for $50. Marianne obviously didn't do her homework. So this is the funny part. I'm gonna read the comment. Marianne Twitter may or may not be ran by her assistant, because I feel like her assistant replied to my tweet and then they booked her, and that's only a theory because like after that tweet, her assistant reached out to me and then she said, "Do you see the reply on Twitter?" I was like, "What?" So I don't know. So maybe there's some truth in this. Maybe she got booked. Like, yo, this is the people that have been criticizing you. Come on. No, never mind. No, scratch all that. Scratch all that. Because remember in the video, she said, "Yeah, I've been critical of you." She's like, "Yeah, you have." So she knew.
No, she seen it. Oh, she knew.
Yeah. So never mind. I was tripping. I was tripping. So she definitely knew us, and she still came unprepared. Isn't that something? She came in with casual disregard for the differences, and she got the reception she deserves. Her hubris is based on her entitlement. Those folks should be interviewed as hostile witnesses. And this is put people at the Vanguard and help people understand. We're not asked as journalists. I saw people, CJ, I know you probably saw in the comments as well, but they said, RBN, you're never going to have people on them before. I'm like, nigga, I don't give a fuck. Nigga,
we're not about that. We don't care.
If you want to come on RBN, that's great. Nigga, if you don't want to come on RBN, kick rocks. That's literally the least thing that matters to me.
Yeah, we don't.
I was shocked that Marianne agreed, because I'm like, all right, it don't matter how much time you give me. I'm gonna make this your first and only appearance real quick. And this is supposed to end any aspirations of her getting any left anti-imperialist support. She probably think like, man, that was a fucking mistake. Her advisor like, who the fuck booked that interview? Anyway, I got a lot of super chat. I need to go faster. Thank you for $5, Brent. CJ said what I and many were thinking during that Marianne interview. I am surprised her playing the female card was not caught out on the spot. I was planning to. which is why there was some frustration because I didn't get a chance to do that. But hey, man, we're gonna make sure we get that nailed together. Thank you for the $4.99. I have learned so much from RBN. Not many people gonna say about it, but how many people like how many people watch the Vanguard? And it's like, man, I learned so much from the Vanguard. Has anyone ever said that? And if you did say that, what are you learning? The differences between the Kasparian and Jimmy Dore? Like,
you're learning about the relationship of the new K&K, Crystal and Kyle.
I learned so much from the Vanguard. I now know that Jimmy Dore has a burner account. Such valuable information for the working class. Jimmy has a burner account.
Oh, it's so unserious. This is why the left is so unserious. This is why in that video that with Michael Brooks that Vivek points out how it's overwhelmingly made up, but they don't want to hear about poverty, Nick.
Yeah.
So they talk about this stuff. They don't want to hear about this stuff. So go ahead, Nick. It's so funny though.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny that Vanguard and their deeply unserious channel that have no clout on the left at all. Their audience is literally full of G-Hive and shit libs at this point. Their audience is literally people who hate Jimmy Dore. That's literally
Who's G-Hive again? Who's G-Hive again?
People who hate Jimmy Dore. It's based on this guy G-Hive who his entire career is talking about Jimmy Dore and the people who criticize.
I gotta remember that name.
I see them liking their shit. Like they have no leftists. They got people who literally just hate Jimmy Dore that watch their show. Not anyone ever leave a super chat like they learn a lot from the Vanguard. Not anyone. Y'all content are very important and very needed. The realest ones doing this solidarity. Much love for the great super chat. Thank you for the $20. As long as I got food and the bills paid till the 3rd, here you go. Much love and appreciation for your solidarity, Kat. There's a $3 solidarity sticker from Richard. Appreciate that. Thank you for $5, Luca. The Marianne Williamson interview was brilliant. RBN did it, left a huge favor. Now you guys see why the Vanguard, who literally embarrassed themselves by propping up Marianne Williamson for literally months. So they propped up Marianne Williamson for months, and we came in and just embarrassed them by exposing how their candidate is actually full of shit. So that's why they got to go after us. So we did the real left a favor. The Vanguard and everyone else was focused on sheep herding people to Marianne Williamson, and then boom, guess who's here to shut down their fucking shit liberty plans.
So now it's character assassination for them. They can't go off the content. That's why they had to go, let's just talk about the fight, and it's embarrassing. They have to attack the messenger that delivered the truth.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for the $5. Mosaic. For Bree is good, but she falls for access journalism, which we must reject. She does. Yes. Marianne Williamson and Ro Khanna, if they show up, she is dead nice. Workers need fighters not to get along to go along. And then if you say, I have to be nice to this politician to get me on a show, that's a stain on you that should have been a stain on the politician. Let me explain what I mean by that. You just literally ruined your reputation and expose yourself as an access journalist when all you have to do is expose the politician. So you give an interview that's tough on Ro Khanna, and then Ro Khanna doesn't go on your show after that. That says everything we need to know about Ro Khanna. You guys see how that message is sent to the workers that Ro Khanna can't handle the heat? We need that. There's a value in that, and that value has been missed because these people want to be friends with these people. RBN is not doing that, which is why we are a threat to them, and that's why they got sent smear merchants after us. Thank you for $5. I'm gonna go a little faster. All right, I said it before. But,
yeah, I'm adding more. I just added like 5 more.
Right, so I'll speed it. I'll keep ranting every super chat.
No, not to say that just so you know, because you know what I mean. I don't know where it adds it in at top or bottom. I just hit the little.
Bree is good, but she falls for access. Oh, I just read this. Fuck, I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Thank you for $19.99. I got very upset after seeing this shady Karen yesterday. I had to subscribe again this morning. Welcome back, my friend. Sorry about that, fam, but I'm older than you guys. I can clearly relate to the frustration Rome is feeling. Keep it up. Thank you for subscribing back and for the $19.99. And then he also said, I'll rock with RBN. I was literally cussing this woman out. So like that thing, like every professional managerial class bootlicker, like the Vanguard, gonna like, oh my God, you guys see what RBN did? Meanwhile, the ordinary workers like, thank God CJ and Rome fucking.
That's literally the comments on Twitter. It's probably like 75 in favor. And about 25 not in favor, and I'll take that.
Yeah, and once again, I still maintain it would have been better if that didn't happen, but that shows that workers are not for. They're not won over by the civility politics. Oh, they didn't have a perfect production. They don't have graphics. they don't care much, and we all admit that was a blunder. But most people are like, I'm glad they fucking said that, and that's the comments I've seen.
It's basically, hey, I understand the rage, but yeah, let's try to keep it together next time. It's like, that's what we gonna do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a fan super chat here. She didn't give one acceptable answer, not one, and I view her as a potential threat to ill-informed Black voters. She definitely going after Black women. Yeah, and she's
gonna use the reparations to get Black people, which is disgusting to me. Go ahead.
Yep, that's why RBN is leading the way, calling her out, because she definitely a trap. They for $10. Marianne showed up with her holistic PMC style white lady violence. I love that. And I saw a lot of people saying that Marianne was being smug, condescending to Nick, Marianne being so rude to Nick. And I didn't flinch, because what I tell you guys? I told you guys white, wealthy, liberal women are the worst. Remember what I told you guys this? I told you guys I sold cars. The worst customers I have, I explained this many times before, was not the redneck. And I live in Missouri. You would think that, damn, Nick, you must suck when you get red. No, I swear to God, when I would get a redneck and guy, I'm like, man, this dude, there's a 50-50 chance this guy's racist. There's like almost an understanding, I swear to God. And where the redneck was like, all right, let's just get this business done. Like, and this is my experience. They'll actually be easier to work with. Because it's like an understanding, like, we're from different cultures, but let's get this shit together. But what white liberal women would do, they'll pretend you're a friend, then they would say, oh, you're sexist. Oh, they grab their perch. They pretend that you're being unhinged. They tone police you. And they also the customers who are literally the worst to work with. They constantly insult you. They constantly insult your intelligence.
Condescending. I was just going to that. Yeah.
I'm gonna cut myself with Derek. I don't want to go on a rant, but like,
because we can go.
White liberal women, older, wealthy white liberal women are the worst people for me to talk to. Last thing, when I was in South Carolina, canvassing for Bernie, least success with white women. White women slam the door in my face all the time. Meanwhile, I got Black people like, nigga, this man come frost shit is lit, nigga. Like, he was easy as hell with Black people. I talked to all the white people nowhere. Go nowhere. Anyway, thank you for the $50. Meet her. I always fuck your name up. IF. She had no sense.
Intermediary. I think that's
I always
intermediary.
Mess her name up. My bad, fam. She had no sense of urgency, and that what we expose as well. Once again, the only people who don't have urgency are the people that are like, I guess it's for Marianne. Thanks for $2. Super Steamster Sewing Show. Powerful name.
I remember that.
Bakersfield, California. Wish I had more. You guys don't need more. I always tell you guys, like, we working class. Like $2 super chat, $2 on Patreon. Like, I can't ask for more. So I appreciate the super chat, guys. Thanks for $10. DNC reformers technically ignore the fact that super delegates I'm getting tired. I'm fucking up. It is impossible to reform the Dems because their structure prevents that. At least the GOP doesn't have super delegates. Absolutely. Right. Moving on. Thank you for $5. Nick, you are very special. I remember my mom used to say that. Nick, you're very special. In her little soft terms. Your takes are always A1. She was saying in a way that was funny because she'll say that shit when you fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really explain it. So that was first I thought I was like, he's special. Right? And my mom was very nice. She would do stuff like that when she know. Just let us know that she did. Bless your heart, but come on. Anyway, Nick, you are very special. Your takes are always A1. CJ is also very, very good. You are speaking for the workers. He said 1 out of 10. I must have missed the other one. Thank you for the $4.99. If you worked on the Bernie campaign and on the ground and didn't come out disappointed and radicalized like Nick did, you are not serious. This is the point, guys. Well, everyone complained about me because my objection to their ridiculous strategy. You want to know the people who are upset about my criticism of the Bernie campaign and the 2024 progressive movement? The people who stayed at home. The people who did nothing except donate some extra cash. I quit my job. I was canvassing for 7 weeks, nigga. I was tired. By Super Tuesday, I was tired. Knocked on thousands of doors. And people wonder why I not only say no one should do that again. Like, and I kick myself, CJ. I make fun of myself. Imagine what I could have did with that. All those hours if I did what Rome was doing. Like, imagine if I did Tour for the Poor for 8 weeks instead of Bernie Sanders' campaign. I spent so much, like, you had no idea. Like, I had to coordinate the travel to South Carolina, get booking. It was such a giant interruption of my life. But people want to do it again because they might get some YouTube Patreon supporters for it.
Yeah, I gotta miss.
So this is I cannot emphasize the comment enough. Like it's the people who put the most work in the campaign that is done. It's the armchair quarterbacks that want to do it again. This might be a super chat episode. Thank you for the $20, Cat. Blah blah bango. It was an RBN best ever live stream. Yeah, I guess it's like looking like I'm more about production. So, but if you like watching that in terms of entertainment value, that was a good stream, like all around. I guess if you like just looking entertainment wise. Thank you for $5. Mosaic. Listen to Sabby calling respectively, and no one goal is what is that? No one goal is exposing the frauds, not being diplomatic. Marianne Williamson is fake and will fold to DEMs instantly and always. I'm really missing these chapters. I'm sorry. That might be a
no. I was thinking like because she had a call-in last night of her show, and I was like, I know that call-in is gonna be all about what happened. And I was like, I hope she doesn't get any quite hard stuff. But and I just added like another 6 more super chats, so there's more.
Yeah, so sorry, CJ. I know your time getting cut, but
no. And I'll explain at the end. Nothing's gonna be bad. No worries.
Yeah. So thank you for $2, Nick. I love you, man. You're cold, brother. Much love and solidarity to my friend. Let's see. I think, and this is the solidarity super chat. I think I played that earlier. So I think this is some of the new super chat you put up there. Nick and Sabs were very professional and exposed Marianne as a fraud. Keep up the good work. Now you guys see why these people not coming on RBN. We got a body already. I wouldn't count that as a debate. I told you guys I want to have 3 debates a year. Had 3 debates last year. It could be a debate, but it wasn't really because Marianne got cold feet real quick. I don't know what she thought. Like, I don't know if she thought she was gonna just say reparations and then we're gonna love her. like she thought that she gonna do this orb queen magic and then we're gonna stand all like, oh my god, thanks for coming on our
What
channel.
does orb mean? I saw that. ORB. What does that mean? Orb queen. What is that?
I think that had to do with like her old reputation as like an Oprah Winfrey guru and her spiritual.
That's what that means. Oprah Winfrey something.
Yeah, I don't know. She literally started working with Oprah.
I didn't know that.
Like, we are the first channel, and I want to be fact checking wrong on this if I'm wrong, but I'm positive to say this: we are the only channel that did not give Marianne Williamson a softball interview.
You know what? I can confirm that because in doing research for that segment, I looked, and it's not.
Let me know.
I could always find little tidbits of David Sirota. But I looked, and it was extremely hard to find anything to pin her down.
So I'm proud of that. We're the only one who didn't give into access journalism. The first people to ever give her a hard interview, and she melted down and exposed herself. So that's a big W, I think. Thank you for 499, Jess. So glad to see RBN showing up like this today. Kind of hope you lose some of your so-called supporters who were smearing y'all on YouTube and calling. Y'all are some real ones, and maybe access journalist types are not the right fit for RBN solidarity. If anyone thought we was for the access, they might misunderstood what this is about.
No, those are the ones we want to shed, though. In the movement, there's people, there's the nucleus, and there's like the most vocal people that are just here. But there's gonna be people that jump on and jump off, jump on when the heat gets too hot. And no. I was for all the stuff and tweeting shit, but now y'all talking about some real shit. I got to jump off. So. That's gonna happen. So no worries. What's up, Jay?
Our good friend of the show, Jay. Struggling to say I am against army Nazis is an instant disqualification. Leftist my ass. Hashtag RBN to 50K. Let's go, son. That's the new. I don't know. I think I don't know, man. Because I heard of exponential growth, but YouTube is fucking our algorithm up. But I think that's a good goal to hit. I don't know what date we should set for that. Let's just say RBN to 50K, maybe by June, July. I don't know.
I would give that a year because the other one we gave a year. Yeah, I would say a year, 6 months and 6 months. I would give each. And also Jay is our social media person. So for those that see all of our, because people notice like, man, y'all are posting on social media now. Like, no, our Instagram is now ran by Jay and also Junie. Yeah,
and Jay, a good friend, he worked on the AOC campaign. And he's been aggressively calling AOC out since day one. Mm-hmm. I know Jay for quite some time. He was one of the people like, yo, you told us different shit. Like, and all the AOC fans are like, he literally was on the campaign. And he's like, I know AOC lied to us. And not a question whether she was good fit or bad fit. She lied to everyone involved. So that's who Jay is. We're on social media. I see 2499s from Aisha. Much love.
Thank you.
Damn, man, you guys are coming out today. Thank you for 599 Zasmine. Yesterday was a great job with Marianne. The fact that our candidates are so dumb about foreign policy, what the president have control over, is pathetic. You guys see how the entire professional managerial class, Vanguard, none of these people, they have no idea how like government works. They said, well, we gotta run for president because that's how we get national headlines. Nigga, how much media attention does John Fetterman get? John Fetterman chose not to make headlines by coming out against Zionism. Imagine if John Fetterman, during his election, or a spokesman, because I don't think he could say that, but imagine if the John Fetterman campaign was like, we are extremely critical of funding Nazis in Ukraine. We should advocate for peace. Nigga, you know how much headlines that would get? This idea that you only have to run for president to get headlines is ridiculous. And it's lazy. It's lazy. If Marianne Williamson decided to run for Congress, nigga, that would be the most high-profile congressional race. Former presidential candidate, that would be a congressperson. And then if she said some shit that needed attention to be raised on, then that's the mechanism for doing it.
Right.
Anyway, I'm gonna keep. We almost done here. At least I'm done. Thank you for $5. I am so grateful y'all exposed Williamson as a Zionist apologist and her supporters. I give people benefit of doubt before this interview, but anyone after this interview that still support Marianne Williamson, thank you for exposing yourself. We need RBN in this world. A huge thank you to each and every member of the channel. You all do great work, and you all have different styles. Please keep it up. I ain't going nowhere. This fight. There's no quitting this fight. It's like it's not like an option to quit this fight to me. So much love to everyone here. I think I caught up. Unless there's any more.
Let me just make sure. Let me look through because I think Jay was one of the last ones I added.
Any other ones I think you can cover if you stay a little bit longer. So
yeah, I'm just gonna give more closing remarks and the pivot that's gonna be happening here in content. So go ahead.
So I went a little longer than I thought, but it was a fun live stream because there was so much to say about the Marianne Williamson thing. Professor Zankis is joining us on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm trying to confirm some other big guests as well. They said reach out next week, so got some great guests that's still coming on. So make sure you guys subscribe, like, and
Nick, what do you think? I want to ask you this in front of everybody. I'm doing this on purpose, and then we can talk offline. What do you think about making our show the Proletariat Report? Because I feel like we're going to be moving in a direction where really our content is for the proletariat to understand. It's from the proletariat perspective. So I was just thinking wow, that could actually functionally be a really good title for us in the content we do.
You're good at making names. That's pretty powerful name.
Yeah, the Proletariat Report.
I'm not immediately opposed to it.
Yeah. I'm just putting it out there because I think we need to. I want to focus our content more to kind of the noise, the Vanguards, the Sam Cedars. We've debunked that bullshit. Now we need to focus the proletariat to focus. And you saw even us. We need to have more discipline. So we need to focus on more maybe ideology, focus on imperialism, focus on foreign affairs. We have to care about our foreign comrades. We cannot just not understand what's happening in Somalia, what's happening, for example, in Brazil, what's happening in all of the global South. So that's what we need to do. We need to sharpen our revolutionary discipline. And hopefully, I think that's some more super chats you're putting up there.
Once again, this is one of the things that I will ask her if I have more than 20 minutes. Like I joked with you the day before, like, dude, 20 minutes is Ukraine alone, bro. Like 20 minutes is a third-party discussion alone.
Right.
Like that could be a follow-up at the end of the third-party discussion. Like I literally had to be as technical as I can with questions. So I know there's a lot of questions I should have asked, but I think I came out hot and I think I exposed her. I think that's the best I could possibly did with like 15 minutes. I would say no, not the best I could have done, but I think it was a good job, right? So damn it, you guys are killing it today. Thank you for $5. And I think I'll pass the rest. If any other super chats come, I'll pass to you. This has been a good stream. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. We have the Patreon as well. If you guys don't want to just leave a super chat, that's a great way to continue to help build and support the show. And yeah, they're gonna be like RBN is ever evolving. Like from literally 2 years ago, like we started 2 years ago. Let me repeat.
Wow.
We started 2 years
We're
ago.
coming up. We're coming up on 2 years. Isn't April?
Literally less,
April,
yes, April. Less than 2 years ago, we started RBN. Like this is insane that we are at part right now where we at. We had a lot of evolutions, and we're gonna like when I see, I'm speaking for myself, I'm sure everyone else agrees. When I see RBN hit 30K, I see a great amount of responsibility. You know what I mean? And that's why I take what I do seriously. I try to educate you guys. I try to provide strategies. I want to produce something of value for you guys. So RBN, we saw the mistake we did last stream, production mistake, miscommunications, and we're going to tighten the ship up. Like this RBN is going to be the channel of the proletariat. And we're going to make mistakes in the future, but we are going every day we try to get better. And I had a conversation with CJ before last stream, at the end of last stream, and we pretty much like we just gotta be better. Like that was gonna be better, and we're gonna make it to the point where it's undeniable. There's no way we're not gonna get 50K. There's no way we're not gonna get 100,000 because our content is literally just that good. That's what our goal is. Our content is gonna be so good, so substantive that they can't help for working class people to sign up with us. Anyway. Future RBN is bright, guys. Much love to you guys. Pass to you, CJ.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I've decided, I'm not going to go on with the rest of the topics. I'm just going to sum up through graphics that this strategy is effectively over. The progressive democratic strategy has been debunked. So through graphics, let's tell the story of the progressive Democrat strategy being debunked. RBN has done a lot of work, and I must say, I've initiated a lot of these content segments because I felt like that was sort of my area to sort of attack this progressive strategy. And now that we're going to be sort of not going away from it completely, because if they say some crazy shit, we're going to cover it, but it's not going to be as a focus on it. And we're going to be focusing more on stories like the other ones we're going to do today. Stories like the Israeli military's daily is rating years. I mean, that is a story we would normally do, but more of that. Biden's human rights pick withdraws after criticism on stance of Israel. The black cops in the video of Mr. Nichols, who was killed by the 5 black cops. And Iowa bill, there's actually an Iowan bill that bans fresh meat for food stamp recipients. So that is really going to be, we're going to start zeroing in on things like that, more socialist sort of coverage of socialist acts, more of United Workers. Worker strike. Worker strike with Shama Sawant. We want to be an intricate part of that. So, but let's talk about just some of the graphics, and most of these are from Aaron, our editor. So, of course, you got the silly group, the Vanguard, who they're pretty much, you call them, when you see a car accident, they're the ambulance chasers of the left. Completely and utterly unserious. Completely debunked. You have people like David Sirota, who was seen as a hero, always talk about his Oscars like that makes any difference to the working class. Gives great critiques of the working class. Of the Democratic Party. Uncovers great things, but then tells them to go vote for that same party. The unseriousness, that is completely playing the white moderate role that MLK talked about and not covered, but it must be updated to progressive because it's not just white people who's doing it. We see AOC playing this role. Also, and let's go to another graphic. This one here kind of has all of them. The lost whites of media. I must say, because I got to say this about Jordan. Jordan has stepped up his game, and I would assume that it's been some of the backlash of some of the critiques RBN. But Status Quo has been updating what they're doing there. It's better than what it was. I'm not going to say where it needs to be, but it's better than what it was, and I want to give him credit for that. So, but a lot of the other same people is the same thing. Completely debunked. Why? And this story was why? What happened to left media? Why have they all collectively moved to the right? Because when you're attached to a party who moves to the right, like the Democratic Party, and you are progressive and you're hanging on for dear life, when they move to the right, you're moving to the right too. And if you're left, if you're part of the white left media industrial complex, you're attached to those progressives because that's where you came in to your glory, burnt out of the Bernie Sanders camp. So you're attached to that for dear life. RBN is not born out of that camp. We're post Bernie. And then there's another graphic just pointing out some of the same. Then there's other people who try to uphold this progressive strategy idea, who has been exposed as using a lot of CIA talking points. Then you have AOC with her excuses. Did I do that? That interview she actually did with this person, Ryan Grimm. You see how he uses his journalism to prop up people like this in that interview? Well, it's a difference from people having some sort of malice and people just not knowing what they're doing. That's the "did I do that?" excuse of the progressive strategy. We just don't know what's wrong. We don't know what we're doing. That's all. We're too naive. And then you have these people completely exposed at breaking points. Propped up by a billionaire or propped up by so-called independent, let's just put it that way. And just staying within the same narratives of mainstream media, completely without a independent perspective. They literally have gone to the right since leaving Rising. And if you just joined, I'm talking about breaking points. So, and I think I've gone through all the graphics I had, and then we're ending back on the fully exposed. They're trying to run this again. This will not work. But RBN is now going to be pivoting here. We're not going away completely from destroying, but we feel like we've destroyed this and debunked this concept. And now it was relentless for a while. It got kind of intense where it was almost once a week, twice a week. We were doing content trying to break down some sort of point from this progressive strategy. And although we still will be making content depending on what they do, like if AOC and the squad and progressives break another strike, of course we're going to cover that. If Sam Cedar says, hey, the force of vote morons, I want to make another video and say they're morons and they deserve this, I'll cover that. But there's no need to relentlessly poke holes in this garbage because this has been proven to be garbage. And Marianne Williamson's interview to me is like the lid on top. We can just say this is done. So that's how we're going to end the stream. We're already at 2 hours with just this topic. We're, the other topics I kind of read, we're going to cover at a different time. So stay tuned for that. But I do want to give everybody the opportunity who's watching now. This is our Substack. So make sure you join our Substack. If you want to get notifications when we go live, this is kind of unplanned one. We don't always go live on Fridays. Wasn't sure we're going to go live. We said in the last stream we were going to be off 2 days, but the reception from the interview was a lot better than we thought it was going to be Like most people thought it was great. So it was like, let's go and give them the content of analyzing the interview. And we thought that him doing that alone would be good. And then me just kind of summing it up. And then I was going to move on to these other topics of what we're going to be more focusing on, like what we already do, but just more of that. We do this content already that I'm speaking that we're going to be doing. We're just going to be focusing more on the struggle. And this is where we started earlier. Let me see where we're at now. See if we lost anybody because of the stream. We haven't lost anybody because of the stream. We added a few more. 67. So welcome to everybody brand new. Our website for those who are brand new. Also, let's also open up this stream. So if you're brand new, let's open it up so anyone can comment, not just because usually it's set for subscribers. So I just took that off. So if you wanted to make comments, you now can make comments. But that's our website and that's our email. If you needed to contact us, send topics with articles attached, and those will be considered. And I think that's all. On your way out, make sure you give us a like. Nick went right in. I don't even know if he's ever even asked throughout the entire stream, but on your way out, throw us a like. And I think we're going to end it here. Let me make sure there's not any. I'll toss up your comments with some music playing. So I'll toss up your comments and yeah. So let's do that. So let's find us some yeah, let's find us a closeout video. I was debating whether or not to do a closeout video, but let's do one. That could be fitting, but let's do something else. I was like, wow, that actually could be a good video. The one that I have pinned, but let's do something that's not me, of course. And I was looking at this one earlier. Where is it? The Martin Luther King one. So was it on my channel? It could have been on, maybe it was on the RBN network. So let's go there. Let's go there. Yeah, I think the video I was looking for. It's a pretty good video. I think it's talking about the white moderate also. But like I said, we need to update that to mean just progressive because it's not only white. And we see that with the squad. So let's just make sure we understand that. And you see all the great graphics that has been made. I just rolled through a bunch of them right there by our editor. All of these graphics have been made by her. So thank you, Erin. Again, we're always shouting her out, giving her thanks because these graphics people are always commenting on. And I guess the video was not here either. I don't know where I saw that video. So we will go here. Now, this is a fitting messages. Wow. Maybe it's karma that brought me here because this video fits the topic that we're using here.
In a militant campaign.
Uh-oh.
I absolutely don't think it should be from the Democratic Party. And I do want to address the specific name should be a progressive challenge.
So this is what I was afraid of, that it was going to have that glitch. So I'm sorry, we may not have a closeout video for today, but still leave your comments and we'll be covering the video in this story here of the 5 cops charged with the murder. And I think they said the video will be released tonight. There's a demonstration also going on that I was going to show. So all of that will be, actually, let's use this video. This is Tyree Nichols, Mr. Nichols, the one who was murdered by the 5 cops, he put out a video. So, or the family did, and let's use that as our closeout. I'll toss up comments after the video stops. Rome, did you want to take over the stream? You got to unmute yourself.
My bad. Yeah.
I was just about to end. If you want to take over, go ahead. You can take over the stream. You already got about 400 people watching. So there is a couple of super chats. Let me just toss this one up. I think you and Nick need to address Sabby's call-in. I think she really feels isolated right now. What happened? Do you know what happened on the call? I don't know what happened on the call-in, so maybe I should find out. So yeah, I'll find out what happened on the call-in, because like Nick said, we neither one of us have heard it yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like this, it's a team, you know, guys, this is not a cult. We're going to have arguments. We're going to have up and downs. It's a team. If it wasn't, then we'd just be happy-go-lucky, just going with the flow. You know, sometimes we're going to have disagreements and whatnot, but I got love for Sabby. I apologize if she feel any kind of way, if I made her feel any kind of way. I got love for my brother JB. I got love for my brother CJ.
Did you listen to her call in so you know what they're talking about?
I don't even got the app.
Oh, yeah. So none of us have heard it, so I guess we have to hear it. I think maybe she was getting some backlash from it or something. Maybe she got some harsh comments, because I know she didn't. I don't think they're saying she had a problem with us, because I spoke to Sabby and before the call in and nothing was wrong. So I'm gonna let you take over the stream, sir, and I'm gonna be on my way to get my daughter, pick her up from school. Saw the stream this morning, and I just wanted to say we talked all about that yesterday, and I'm happy that you came on and said that to everybody, let everybody know what's going to be happening with you. So, you know, I'll leave it for you to answer the questions in the chat, because some people were asking about it, and I didn't want to, you know, throw that out there. Let Rome say what he wants to say about his own life.
What asking about?
It was a super chat asking about what happened last night, and I didn't want to bring it up. It's a super chat. It's starred, so it's a bunch of them. You got to go through them. So you'll have time. You'll have time during your stream. You'll have time during your stream to go through them. So go through the ones if you feel like you want to answer them. But there is one that says about asking about what happened last night. So all right, but I do got to get going. So have a good stream. And if you didn't see Rome's stream this morning, Mental Health Hour, go check it out, because it's very revealing and it's very good. All right, Rome, have a good stream.
I ain't gonna hold y'all for long. I'm not gonna hold y'all for long. I wanted to chime in on the Miss Williamson shit and whatnot. How everybody is basically doing this grift again, man. Like, I'm glad to have RBN on the ground, you know, fighting and whatnot, because without a channel like RBN, that shit, it would have just happened. They would have just did it again. Nobody would have been pushing back. You got Kyle Kulinski doing all these softball interviews and et cetera, et cetera. We cannot let them do this. We cannot let them keep running as a Democrat and get you out of your house to go canvass for them, give you your hard-earned money, and can't even deliver nothing. This is a grift, man, and it's some evil ass shit. It's some evil ass shit. And for her to bring up reparations, like, that's a thing. I don't trust reparations coming from a rich white woman She don't. How can you calculate the reparations that's actually owed? Because if we talk about reparations, if you actually wanted to fight for black people on reparations, you should be talking about reparations for the Jim Crow era. You should be talking about reparations for the 80s, for them putting crack in our neighborhood, for them going after our fathers, for the prison industrial complex. We need reparations from everything, not just slavery. No, we need payback from everything. So how can you actually calculate that up? How you know? You don't. You fucking don't. I wrote a reparations bill 2 years ago. It took 10% out of the company's net worths that used chattel slavery. That 10% goes to the fucking families who was suffering under that slavery. And it was I took money from the trains. I took money from, it came up to a lot. But they like, oh yeah, $15 trillion. That should be enough. No, the fuck is not. $15 trillion for real? You think that's going to help all the black people in America? 15 trillion. No. We need to forgive debts. We need to open up shit to get housing, et cetera, et cetera. What's going to happen if they give black people reparations in a capitalist society where we don't own anything? That money is going right back to them. So fuck your reparations, Miss Williamson. We don't own nothing. What we going to do? We're going to spend on our cars. We're going to pay off our cars, pay off our house, our bills, et cetera, and we back broke. Own nothing. You own nothing. So how are you going to come up from that? Nah. 24 trillion, not even nearly enough, man. It's not nearly enough. We have to get black people right before we just hand them money. You think money just don't handle everything? No, we need to work on society, man. I'll just get the black people money and shut their ass up. It don't work like that. We are 12% of the population, but still the majority of the prison population. We need to work on that. What about those black people? Do they get reparations? You locked up for life. Do you get reparations? Even though your family suffered under slavery? Or will the government find a way, like they always do, to take your motherfucking money? Find a way to exclude you. Don't fall for it. It's all lies, man. It's all lies. Wants to send billions to Ukraine, but thinks saying reparations will make up for it. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think she's that dumb. I really don't. I think she think that we're dumb. I think she think black people is dumb. And probably a good chunk of fucking whites or around my generation. I think she really think that we're dumb because they know that we are undereducated. They know that we are one of the most dumbest First Nations. You know what I'm saying? So they're using our stupid, what we didn't know. They're using that shit against us, man. They're using this shit against us. Our own idiocy, they use it against us. Oh, well, we're going to help people and we're going to send money. Well, we're going to fight these wars. Like, you can't win a war. You're not fighting a war. And there is no, man, I don't support people who, see what's going on right here. And then they want to talk about, saving democracy. Saving democracy, bro. We don't live under democracy. When have we ever lived under democracy, motherfucker? We are ruled by like fucking 6 families. What democracy? They tell them what to do. We seen what happened during the pandemic. The airlines were literally rewriting laws, man. You think she got the strength to go against them? You think she got the strength to actually get reparations for black people? You know how much shit you got to go through to get that shit? You think she got you think she gonna go after the prison industrial complex, the military industrial complex? Fuck no. Fuck no. She think you're stupid. She think saying a couple of buzzwords is enough. But it did before. And that's why they keep doing it. That's why they keep doing it. Barack Obama, AOC, Ilhan Omar, all of them, buzzword. Healthcare, $15, socialism, and everybody like, okay, yeah, that's enough for me. But then as soon as they get elected, they're like, oh, I can't do none of that shit. Like, what the fuck you running it for? Oh, I forgot, because I'm stupid. Oh, man. I'm so sorry, y'all. But, yeah, we're gonna definitely get this shit right. But as long as RBN is on the front lines, I don't see this shit happening again. I really think people are gonna be calling it out for what the fuck it is. It's a grift. It's a grift. They say we are grifters, dude. I don't know how, nigga, but whatever. But that shit is a real grift. That shit is a real grift. You telling the nation that you can help feed them, get them health care, do this and do that? Really? You know about Big Pharma, right? So you're gonna go after Big Pharma? I doubt that. I doubt it. All right, y'all. That's all I have to say. I gotta get going. I gotta clean this fucking house. Y'all take care. Like I said, I got much love for Sabby. We're gonna have disagreements and whatnot, man. It's all fucked up sometimes, but it ain't all bad, man. We're going to have those fights. We're going to have arguments. We're not going to agree with everything. This isn't a court. This isn't a court. This is a team. And I apologize if she feels some type of way. We're going to get over the hill together, though. And, hey, that was some funny shit when she said, you're mansplaining. What? Why the fuck would you come on the show with mostly man? You know, that shit was a setup, bro. She tried to get Nick attacked. You see these white women, bro? They act like damsel in distress. In a capitalist nation, in a world where there's more slaves than it was back in the days, they act like damsel in distress. But really, they be the reason why racism, classism, and all that shit is still alive today. They be the reason they don't teach their sons shit. They don't try to stop him from being a hateful man. None of that shit. They act like damsel in distress, but they really be running this bitch. Look at the white women doing slavery. Oh, I know he might be a slave owner. He hanged blacks, but Earl is a good guy. He's a good father. Fuck out of here. She was just shy of accusing Nick at whistling at her. Oh my God. That shit is wrong. That shit is so wrong. That shit is so wrong, bro. But that's what they do. That's the game. If I can't win the argument, then I'm about to flip this motherfucker. I'm about to flip this bitch on your ass. Like that shit was fucked up. But I'm glad she's exposed. Anybody else who want to challenge RBN or anything, you want to call us out, we can go bar for bar, we can go video for video. Vanguard. I mean, what do y'all do, bro? Y'all niggas suck. And I saw on Twitter, bro, y'all, wow. Maybe you should just stop being too big for your britches. Maybe y'all should focus on the ground. Maybe y'all should focus on actually teaching your audience. You know why your audience watch y'all? Because they're bored. And they know it's drama. And they don't like you guys either. Most of your comments are just hateful. That's fucked up. Y'all should quit and go find a fucking job. People don't like you. The people don't like you. Your channel haven't grew since you basically did that shit with Jimmy Dore. Y'all turned up the comments with Aaron fucking that's embarrassing. Just embarrassing. Go do something better with your time besides stalking black creators. Now, I would say a little bit more, but all I'm gonna say is this. Vanguard, y'all are not the vanguard. RBN is the vanguard of the left. Do you know the definition of vanguard? I'm assuming you don't because y'all fucking weak as fuck. How the hell are you a vanguard pushing for the Democratic Party? You're the vanguard of the left, but you pushing people to the Democratic Party? How is that? That don't even make sense. You should change your name or quit that show. You guys are not gonna you guys are not gonna survive over here with people like RBN coming up, and we have more people rising up, more people speaking for revolution instead of reform. Y'all not gonna last. You're not gonna last. Look at all your other brothers. Look at all your other white brothers around you that didn't last. All I had to shack up. All y'all had to shack up. And RBN standing here strong by herself. Y'all had to go get fucking backed by millionaires and billionaires. You suck. The people don't have your back because you suck, nigga. The people don't have your back. You got to get money from millionaires. Now you what? You a vanguard for millionaires? For millionaires' feelings? Y'all niggas suck, man. Your whole show is garbage. You're not gonna grow, and I just feel bad for the people who actually think that you're a good faith. But they will find RBN one day. They will find RBN, and when they see the comparisons, they can be like, this is real vanguard shit right here. Because not only are we educating people on the ground, we feed people on the ground. I don't see you guys out there doing a damn thing but running your mouth about what we should be doing and how we should. Like, okay, you run your mouth on some shit that you have never even done. On some shit that you ain't never even done. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all whack as hell. And that's why y'all not gonna last. Go ahead and shack up. Breaking Points is not gonna last. If it do, it's because the millionaires and billionaires backing the motherfucker ain't gonna put it on national TV, et cetera, et cetera. But that shit ain't gonna last because y'all suck. You can't connect with the people. Nobody wants you around. So yeah, we the new motherfucking face of the left, nigga. We the new face of the left, and I know y'all hate it that we black too, man. I know y'all hate it like fuck. We was trying to trick these black people into voting for Democrats again. Now you got these black motherfuckers exposing them. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, black and white, it's no different." Yes, no. It don't work like that in real life. In real life, when you see people that look like you talking shit about the people that you support, you start to listen a little bit more. You're like, hold on, I thought AOC was cool. What's going on? It hit different, and now you got a group of revolutionaries calling out the shit for what it is, feeding the people, educating the people, doing everything that these motherfuckers promised you they was gonna do when they got some power. I help more people than my congressman. I don't need to get elected to help you. How does that make sense? Hell no. That shit funny as hell. Them niggas weak. I love y'all. If you're watching this, JB, I love you. Sabby, I love you. Nick, I love you. CJ, I love you. I got love for the whole RBN crew, for everybody in comments, for everybody hate watching. Thank you for helping us grow. Thank you for putting our name out there. Thank you for helping us call these motherfuckers out. Because y'all be the ones on the ground, damn near more to us. Y'all be talking so much shit. Y'all be talking so much shit. Y'all do not let people talk shit about us. And I really appreciate that, man, because we need it. It was hard for us coming up. Man. People shunned us. They didn't want to do interviews. And now that we're too big to ignore, nobody's doing anything to get canceled. They have to play ball. We are one of the fastest growing channels on the left. We get views that they get during the fucking election time. Imagine how our shit gonna look during election time. You got to play ball. You got to come over here. You're going to have to talk. You want to run? You want to run for office? You got to talk to RBN. You got to talk to RBN. People are going to push you. They're going to push you. And then once we get you here and get you on that motherfucking seat and you start feeling your ass get hot, well, you're going to feel it. You're going to fucking feel it. We're not holding no hands for any of you. We're not softballing shit. Just like I told Ryan Grimm to his fucking face, you were wrong. You were wrong. You a bad person, man. You a bad person. You a liar. You was wrong about forced to vote. How many, like, I'm telling y'all, man, this shit is so fucked up because I'm trying not to cause a race war, race riot, but fuck, man. If RBN came out and was against forced to vote and was against, just whatever the fuck, all the shit that they did, how many times can they be wrong and get away with that shit? We would have been canceled, slung through they would have had all kind of videos and shit pop us on Twitter and YouTube. Oh, RBN is lying to their fucking people. But they can be wrong multiple times in a year and still get a platform? Man, if that's not white privilege, I don't know what the fuck it is. Yeah, Tim Black ain't getting nowhere. But all right, y'all. All right, I'm about to get going. I gotta clean up. I got a lot of shit to do. I'm headed to rehab. So in a minute, y'all about to I got a show. That's coming up. I got 2 shows actually. I'm doing a mental health show, and I'm doing a show basically like creepypasta, true crime, but it's gonna focus more on politics. It's gonna focus more on politics, politicians, wars. People got kidnapped by powerful people and whatnot. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. I'm gonna release it. I'm gonna try to release it like every end of the day or something like that, so people can go to sleep on it. You know what I'm saying? Because we need more engagement at the end of the day. So I'm gonna just drop a new show and boom. You know what I'm saying? Oh shit! Hey, them niggas suck, bro. Them niggas suck. 100, like, dog, that shit is not gonna last, man. It's not gonna last. And if they would have just, like, all this shit started with Jimmy Dore, bro. If they would have just did their fucking job right, now look, your channel was dying. Everybody laughing at you on Twitter. What a shame. All right, because I did come to y'all city. Y'all niggas ain't pop up. I was all over y'all city. I was all over the town. I was doing giveaways. We had a fucking barbecue. We was giving diapers. And hey, y'all niggas want to know where to be found. We was on the ground. We was with the people. Where y'all was at? Huh? I ain't see nobody call me. Nobody inbox me on Twitter and be like, hey, we should link up. We can do something with each other channels. And I would have gladly did something. But y'all not about that life. I don't even see you guys coming into a black community and being serious, being taken serious, especially with the ideas that you guys are pushing right now. Y'all niggas suck. All right, y'all. I'm gonna stop saying I gotta go because I really gotta go. But I love y'all. Y'all stay up. Like I said, I got love for everybody, RBN, everybody that's helping us, our crew, our people. We're gonna have disagreements. This isn't a cult. This is a team, and sometimes teams have disagreements with each other. That's going to happen. That is just common. This is a movement, and we have so much to lose. We have so much to lose and so much to gain right now. So we got to make sure that we are, just on point with every damn thing. And if not, then fuck it. We're gonna get somewhere. We're gonna talk about it. We might argue, but we're gonna get somewhere. But we're gonna be back pretty soon, man. Like RBN ain't going nowhere, bro. RBN ain't going nowhere. We're about to blow the fuck up. These niggas can stay mad, and y'all can suck my motherfucking dick, because we ain't going nowhere. Straight like that. All right, y'all. Y'all be smooth. Damn it, CJ. CJ, is you watching? Damn it. I don't know where that video at. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, fuck this. Yeah, I'm about to just end the stream because I'm sorry, CJ. I wanted to play the going out video and all that stuff. I'm too dumb for this shit. Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, I'm gonna stay hydrated, man. I'm gonna stay hydrated. Thank y'all, man.
What's up? You needed what now?
I just needed the going out video.
Oh, okay. I'll set one up. I'm gonna go to the back and then I'll set one up. Just give me like a.
All right. Man, I don't feel good. I do not feel good, y'all. But I'm about to beat this shit, though. I'm gonna beat this addiction, bro. If I don't do anything, bro, I'm gonna beat this shit. I'm gonna stop drinking. Because this shit is hell, man. It's all fun and games when you're young. You can sit there and party, you can drink, you go to college and have all these orgies and all that stuff. You feel that shit when you get older. Oh yes. You feel that shit. Every fucking drop of liquor, I feel it. It's hurting me. It's hurting me. But I'm gonna win this battle, man. Because I have no other choice. I gotta get myself right. I gotta get my mind right. For me, for my children, for the revolution. You know, we gotta make sure we all are right, man. I can't build a movement with a drunk mind. You know, you can't build a revolution in a drunk mindset. So it's gonna take some time, man. But I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I've been denying this for years, man. But I'm ready to actually start moving forward with this, so I can get my life in order. But I see you got the video. Thank you, man. We're gonna leave y'all with this. Stay up.
I think that is an answer to that myth. And it is that time is neutral. It can be used either constructively or destructively. And I'm absolutely convinced that the forces of ill will in our nation, the extreme rightists in our nation, have often used time much more effectively than the forces of goodwill. And it may well be that we will have to repent in this generation, not merely for the vitriolic words of the bad people and the violent actions of the bad people, but for the appalling silence and indifference of the good people who sit around and say, wait on time. Somewhere we must come to see that social progress never rolls in on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless efforts and the persistent work of dedicated individuals, and without this hard work, time itself becomes an ally of the primitive forces of social stagnation. And so we must help time, and we must realize that the time is always right to do right.